We'd like to get the presentations underway. Do we have our Historic Preservation Commission members here? Not just yet? Okay. How about Complete Streets? All right. Let's start with our Community Development Month. I think we have that crowd here. Yes? All right. We'll have Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome come up to recognize the Office of Community Development for Community Development Month. Mayor President?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Acting Pro Tem and members of the council. As we observe Community Development Month, I want to spotlight the Office of Community Development for its tireless efforts to improve the lives of Baton Rouge residents. Community development is about more than just building infrastructure. It's about creating opportunities, fostering inclusivity, and nurturing environments where everyone can thrive. The Office of Community Development plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of our city. During my administration, the office has funded more than 1,000 affordable housing units, 350 home repairs and services for thousands of Baton Rouge residents. From affordable housing to educational programs and economic growth initiatives, they work to ensure that all residents have a fair shot at success. They have already made significant steps this year towards achieving that goal, investing in Baton Rouge's first non-congregate shelter with St. Vincent de Paul, investing in 2 new youth facilities to serve at-risk young people, the Inspiration Center at Howell Park, and the Youth City Lab in Mid-City. And next week, we'll announce another $1.5 million investment in affordable housing. Please join me in expressing our appreciation for everything they do to make Baton Rouge a better place to live, work, and grow. We greatly appreciate all of our team in the Office of Community Development. Did you want to say a word?
Sure, I'll say. I just want to thank Mayor. Of course, so many of these investments are guided by your input and your vision for how we can be investing as a community. And then I want to thank the staff for being flexible with growing with us, for always answering the call of residents and our partners. It's not possible. And then last and also very importantly is to thank the Metro Council members. Y'all have invested in our office. You've allowed our office to grow with additional staff, and that's going to make a huge difference in the impact that we can make.
I think so.
Yeah, sure. That way you know who to call about your concerns. So this is Leonard Briscoe. He has been with the rehab program back from when it was in Bill Baton Rouge days all the way back now to Office of Community Development. So many of you may be familiar with his emails on the rehab program. So he's our rehab program manager. This is Ms. Darrell, another constant in our community. She is our grant administrator, but she really helps with a lot of the grants review and council process to make sure that our contracts move. They move quickly and they move compliantly. This is Ms. Deborah. She helps with our affordable housing program, ensuring that we're checking off the laundry list of compliance boxes with HUD on our housing developments and supporting our housing partners. This is Ty. She's new to our team. She joined us from purchasing, and she keeps all of us in line. She's our program analyst and making sure that everything is up to snuff and draws get processed quickly. Rebecca, similar to Leonard, has been working on the rehab program for many, many years as well, and has really done a lot alongside Leonard to improve our processes. We're moving things faster, and so that's very exciting. And then this is Jennifer. She has been with the Office of Community Development for the longest. She is one of our lead program analysts and has been the force behind payments for many years. So, yeah.
What?
Great. Thank you all for the work you do in our community.
Thank you, Councilmember.
I believe we have the Association of Real Estate Brokers present. We'll do that presentation
Set me off my weed.
next. Okay. Next up, Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome will recognize the Baton Rouge Association of Real Estate Brokers for Fair Housing Month. Mayor President.
Well, April is National Fair Housing Month, and I am very proud to recognize the Baton Rouge Association of Real Estate Brokers for their support in this important cause. You all play a crucial role, of course, in ensuring access to safe, affordable housing and upholding the principles of fair housing laws. Since 1968, the Fair Housing Act has fought against discrimination in housing transactions, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, familial status, or disability, have an equal opportunity for home ownership and rental housing. This landmark legislation promotes inclusive communities and equal housing opportunities for everyone. Fair housing fosters social equity, drives economic vitality, and enriches our cultural landscape. By eliminating discrimination, we strengthen our society and create a more welcoming and equitable community. So as we recognize Fair Housing Month, let us renew our commitment to advancing fair housing by continuing the collective work to build a community where fairness and equality thrive. So I want to say thank you to the Baton Rouge Association of Real Estate Brokers for your exceptional efforts. Would you like to say something?
Hello, my name is Lawrence Triggs, and I'm the president of the Baton Rouge Association of Real Estate Brokers. And we're just happy to be here, and we thankful to the mayor and to the council and to the city for this proclamation and recognizing us on the Fair Housing Month. We've been in existence since 1947, and our theme is democracy and housing. So we've always been on the right side of fair housing, and we're excited about our continuation of promoting fair housing, and we look forward to our continual work with the city of Baton Rouge, and we're just thankful to be here. And I brought with me our second generation of Realtors members, Ms. Brittany Beard, Mr. Terrence Williams, and Ashley Triggs, to assist me in receiving this proclamation. Thanks.
Yes. Great.
Thank you all very much for your advocacy in our community. Mayor, can we keep rolling? It looks like we have some of our 911 call center personnel here. We could do that one next, okay? We'll now ask Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome if she would recognize 911 call center employees for National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, which is the week of April 14th through the 20th, 2024. Mayor President.
As we observe National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the professionals who serve as the backbone of our emergency response system. These unsung heroes are the first point of contact when we need help, providing calm and clarity in the face of crisis. Their quick thinking and steady presence save lives and keep our communities safe. Telecommunicators are often the invisible heroes working tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that help arrives when it's needed most. They maintain their composure under immense pressure, coordinating with emergency responders and offering critical support to those in distress. It's a demanding role that requires exceptional skill, patience, and resilience. Let's take a moment to recognize their invaluable contribution and thank them for their courage and dedication. Without them, our community would be a far less safe place. So please join me in expressing our sincere appreciation for the work they do to protect and serve us every day and in every emergency. As a sidebar, one of my favorite shows is 911. I love that show. You want to say something, Mr. Denicola?
Thank you, Mayor Broom. Very well said. There's not enough I can say about these people. They have a very tough job. And if you ever want to see that, come to the 911 center and visually see what they have to go through every moment that they're there. They're there for 12 hours a day, and sometimes it's from PM to AM. So they work very hard. They do an exceptional job with the equipment that they have and the knowledge that they have to calm someone down, to help them get through the most horrible time in their moment when they had to call 911 for help. And there's many aspects of what they did. So in the future, we'll get together and we'll all go down there and we'll visit. And I'm very proud of these people. Thank you.
You don't want to get in it? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Thank y'all so much for the work you do. Okay, is Councilmember Banks ready? Did she step out? Okay, all right. That's fine. Let's do... Mayor, you want to recognize Sydney next? Would that be okay? All right. Next up, we'll ask Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome to recognize Sydney Wilson with the Office of the Mayor President, Intercommunications.
Well, this is kind of a bittersweet moment. I want to take a moment to recognize Sydney Wilson, who has been an outstanding intern with our office over the past year. Sydney is a student at Southern University, majoring in political science, and during her time with us, she brought professionalism and creativity to everything she did. Sydney was a part of our communications team. She assisted in staffing me for events, created content for social media, assisted with graphic design and newsletter distribution. Her contributions have been invaluable, and she has certainly made a lasting impact on our team. As she moves on to new adventures, we want to wish Sydney all the best in her future endeavors. And Sydney, I just want to thank you for your hard work and your dedication. She never murmured or complained about doing anything. She showed up with a smile all the time, and I know your talents are going to take you far. I would be remiss if I did not say that Sydney is from Lafayette, and with her, supporting her today, is her family who came from Lafayette, her mother, her father, her sister, 2 sisters. Why don't you all stand up, family? I think that speaks volumes
It
that
does.
they came to support Sid. So, Sid, the last time we had an intern leave, he didn't want to say anything, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to say anything if you want to say something. All right.
I want to start off by saying thank you, of course. Like Mayor said, today is a very bittersweet moment for me. Over the past 10 months of me working at the mayor's office, I've learned so many valuable lessons of like resilience and leadership and of course the inner workings of Baton Rouge, and working closely with Mayor has really, taught me, it's been a privilege, and it's taught me, she's honestly set the stage and the standard for leadership, in my opinion, and for my future endeavors. So I want to personally thank her for that, of course, Mayor. And I also want to give a special thanks to the communications department, which is Mark down here taking pictures, and Autumn, Chaselyn, Mandy, and just everyone in the office who welcomed me with open arms and allowed for a college student to come in and thrive and evolve. So that's it. And I will very much miss City Hall. So thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. We'll do a photo with Sydney, and then maybe her family can come in next and take the photo. Come on, fam.
That's it.
Y'all drove from Lafayette.
Come on. Great, y'all. Great, y'all. Great. Yes, indeed.
Y'all's team is here? Yeah. Okay, Mayor, we're going to go back to the first item on our agenda. So this would be the Preservation Month. So the members of the Historic Preservation Commission, as well as our City Parish Planning Commission, if they will join the Mayor President in recognition of Preservation Month.
As we celebrate Preservation Month, we're celebrating a lot of months around here. I'd like to recognize the outstanding work of the Historic Preservation Commission and the City Parish Planning Commission. Historic preservation is not only about saving old buildings, it's about connecting to our city's rich history, to our heritage, and ensuring it for generations to come. It provides a tangible link to the stories and events that shape our community. These dedicated individuals and organizations don't just preserve structures, they preserve the essence of Baton Rouge. By maintaining our landmarks and historic sites, they keep our past alive, allowing us to learn and grow from it. Through their tireless efforts, our city remains a vibrant blend of tradition and progress. So let's all take a moment to thank them for their commitment to maintaining the character and culture that make Baton Rouge unique. Without them, our city would lose a crucial part of its identity. With us today is Byron Washington, who is the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. Is Byron here? Not yet. Okay, but Rex Cabanis is here, right here, and we want to thank you for all of the work that you all do with the Historic Preservation Commission, and I'm glad to proclaim this month as Historic Preservation Month. Did you want to say a word?
Thank you all, and thank you, Mayor. Byron couldn't join us this afternoon, or he may be in traffic, we're not sure. But it's a privilege to serve on this committee, and we look forward to continuing our important work. So thank you.
Mark, are you waiting on anyone else from the Complete Streets Commit? No, not you, Mark. The other Mark in the crowd, Mark. Sorry. Anyone else from? Okay, well, let's do that one next. Mayor President, next up, we'll ask you if you'll recognize the Complete Streets Citizen Advisory Committee and our City Parish Planning Commission in recognition of Bike Month. Mayor President.
This month is Bike Month. And with the efforts of the Complete Streets Citizens Advisory Committee and the City Parish Planning Commission working together, we're thrilled to highlight Bike Month. Of course, in a world where sustainability and healthy living are increasingly important, biking provides a fantastic way to commute, exercise, and enjoy our city's beauty. It's also a step for a greener future. So the Complete Streets Citizens Advisory Committee and the City Parish Planning Commission work really hard to ensure our streets are safe and accessible for cyclists of all ages and abilities. They promote a lifestyle that reduces our carbon footprint, fosters a sense of community, and encourages a healthier way of life. Their initiatives, from expanding bike lanes to advocating for pedestrian-friendly spaces, have made Baton Rouge a better place to live and explore. So we want to celebrate this team for their dedication to creating a more bike-friendly city and for promoting an active, sustainable, and connected community. Thank you all for all that you do. And with us today is the chair of the Complete Streets Citizen Advisory Committee, Mark Martin, and Rex Evans. Mr. Martin, did you want to say anything?
Surprisingly, I have a few.
Oh, you have a speech? Okay. No, I'm just joking.
I just want to say that bicycling in Baton Rouge can add a positive change to every aspect of life in the city. Whether we're talking about physical and mental health, economics, transportation, or any other aspect of our lives, bicycling and walking enhances our lives. And I'd like to thank you, Mayor, and the Metro Council for supporting bicycling in Baton Rouge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Sean, you'll be next. We'll do you next. Yeah. Thank y'all very much. Okay, next, Mayor President, along with Metropolitan Councilwoman Shauna Banks, to recognize Elaine. Now I know what Councilmember Cole goes through. Indezemu. Forgive me if I butchered that. Gospel Train of Grenoble, France, for Gospel Train Week, April 22nd through 29th, 2024. Councilmember Banks and Mayor President.
Hello, everyone. I am basically bringing up my constituents on Doctors Parker, and they have some international guests. And I'll turn it over to the Mayor President, and then we'll get responses.
It's a privilege to join Councilwoman Banks in celebrating Gospel Train Week, a joyous occasion that unites us through the power of music and faith. And I'm especially honored to welcome Alan Ndezumu and the Gospel Train of Grenoble, France. Their soulful performances and uplifting messages bring a special spirit to our city, reminding us of the strength and beauty of shared faith and community. The messages of hope, love, and perseverance in gospel music resonate with all of us, regardless of our backgrounds. That is why I'm excited to proclaim this as Gospel Train Week. It is a time to come together to share our stories and find inspiration through music and song. This talented group reminds us of the universal language of music and its ability to bridge cultural and geographical divides. Let's embrace this week with open hearts and allow the music to inspire us to live with hope, compassion, and a sense of unity. So please join me in extending a warm welcome to the gospel group with Alan Ndizumu. Did I do that? Of Grenoble, France. So let's make this a week to celebrate, and I believe someone would like to, so we have Dr. Parker here who will share some additional information. We may hear some French while we are up here. We'll see.
Thank you, Mayor President Broom and Councilwoman Banks. It is indeed a pleasure to be here to be welcomed at this event. We are very happy to welcome this group. We have actually had a collaboration with French and Europeans for since 1996, however many years that is. But we're especially glad to welcome my little brother, Alain Ndizumu, who has been collaborating with us, with the LSU Gospel Choir, along with students from Southern University. They host us when we go over there. We perform classical, jazz, gospel, so it is a cultural exchange. And we're very glad that they have come to us this week, and they have been with us since April 12th. And they will be leaving on the 29th of this month. We have representatives here from Grenoble, from Milan and Veron, also Mexico City. So thank you for welcoming us here, and we're just very happy to share our culture with them as they share theirs with us when we go over there. So thank you, Mayor President. With the flag at that angle. Okay. I'm actually the talker in the group. My husband is really the talented one who actually has this collaboration going, and that is he right there.
Everybody look this way from me. Nice. 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And gonna do one more. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
One more, y'all. 1, 2, 3, big smile. Thank y'all.
You showing something? Oh, wait. We have a couple more presentations. Okay, all right. Thank you all for the time you're spending in our community. It's wonderful to have you here. Wonderful to welcome you. All right, next up, Councilwoman Lori Adams is going to recognize Sexual Trauma Awareness and Response, or STAR, for Sexual Trauma Awareness Month. Councilmember Adams.
If the STAR team would like to come up and join me. Hey. Great to have y'all here. You'll notice that they are wearing denim today. So it's actually denim day at the state legislature.
Nice.
I couldn't find my jean jacket. I looked everywhere, but all my clothes are dirty, and who knows? It's under a pile somewhere. So I'm sorry, but I'm glad y'all are here. So it's just a little change of pace, but we want to highlight Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Just want to go through a few statistics so that people can realize how pervasive this is, and this is not, it's not something to be taken lightly. It's something that we as a community need to be aware of and deal with. Over 53% of women and over 29% of men reported experiencing contact sexual violence in their lifetime. Most women and men across all sexual identities who experienced contact sexual violence reported that the person who harmed them was someone that they knew. More than 1 in 4 non-Hispanic Black women, 29%, in the United States were raped in their lifetime. 1 in 3 Hispanic women, 34%, reported unwanted sexual contact in their lifetime. More than 4 in 5 American Indian and Alaska Native women, 84% have experienced violence in their lifetime, and 32.9% of adults with intellectual disabilities have experienced sexual violence. So for all those reasons, and many more, is why I am recognizing Sexual Trauma and Awareness Response Team, STAR, for the work that they do in our community. Sexual Assault Awareness Month calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every community. This Awareness Month raises public awareness and calls on each of us to work together to prevent sexual abuse, harassment, and assault, and educate communities about how to be involved in prevention. When anyone experiences sexual violence, our entire community is affected. We recognize STAR for their supportive services provided to survivors in an effort to reduce their experience of trauma. Their advocacy, counseling, and legal services are available to youth and adult survivors of sexual violence at no cost and are intended to assist victims at any stage of the healing process. And from a personal level, I'd like to thank you both. I know that this work, it's not easy work. It's that heart, gut-wrenching, wake up in the middle of the night, trying to get things out of your head, and carrying other people's burdens work. And only the bravest and boldest among us do it, and we recognize both of y'all for that. So if everyone join me in thanking the STAR team for the important work that y'all do in our community. Would you like to say a few words? Sure, here, and then we'll take a picture.
So thank you so much. Thank you, Councilwoman Adams, for recognizing us. Obviously, we have been in the community for quite some time now. Originally as part of the East Baton Rouge District Attorney's Office since 1975, but in 2012 we branched off. We became a nonprofit with the support of Hiller Moore. So like I said, all of our services are free to survivors. We've been here forever, and we will continue to serve our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you all for the important work you do in our community. Thank you. All right, for our final presentation today, we have a chamber filled with a number of animals, and I'm not referring to the Baton Rouge firefighters. Hey, I was waiting to use that one. We have some humans and some dogs here in the chambers with us. If y'all will come on up. I'll ask Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome, I'll ask Councilmember Carolyn Coleman, and I'll join them at the podium to recognize Pet Partners Therapy for National Therapy Animal Day, which is April 30th. Mayor President, if you will start us off.
Hey.
I have another one, just concerned, yeah. Is it true you're not supposed to pet therapy dogs? I mean, therapy you do. The service dogs, that's right. Yeah,
These are
okay, just want to make sure. I'm a pet 'em. That's why I wanted to know. All right, we have some visitors with us today. Today, we're recognizing National Therapy Animal Day with Councilwoman Carolyn Coleman, Councilman Rowdy Goday, and the remarkable work of Mary Beth Anderek and Pet Partners Therapy. Animals have a very unique way of bringing comfort, healing, and joy to people in need. Yes, they do. Through their dedication, therapy animals visit hospitals, schools, and care facilities, offering companionship and emotional support that is truly life-changing. The work of Mary Beth Anderek and Pet Partners Therapy has had a profound impact on countless individuals. These therapy animals, along with their skilled handlers, bring a sense of calm and hope to those going through difficult times. Their visits can ease stress, reduce anxiety, and even promote healing. It's a testament to the bond between humans and animals and the positive impact it can have on our well-being. While I don't have a, quote, therapy dog, I do have a dog that brings me all of the above that you just talked about, that eases stress, reduces anxiety. That's my great German Shepherd, Mordecai. I have to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
So we want to, though, right now express our gratitude to the National Pet Partners Therapy organization here in our city and parish, and recognize today is National Therapy Animal Day. Councilman Goday and Councilwoman Coleman, I think, have comments they would like to make as well.
Well, just want to say we are grateful here for the Bayou Buddies. And what, as I look around and I see this, how many we have? Nine. I told Councilman Goday, I said, you ought to bring one and sit in all council persons' lap there. And so this is just great. On Saturday, we even served over 300 dogs vaccination and cats with LSU, and so it's just great. And so, Rowdy?
Please, read it.
Certificate of recognition presented to Bayou Buddies, recognizing and honoring therapy animals who partner with their human companions to bring forth comfort and health and healing to those in need in our community. And so raising awareness and educating the public about the role that therapy animals play in enhancing the health and well-being of residents. So honoring the many dedicated handlers who volunteer their time and compassion during visits in a variety of settings, including airports, hospitals, pediatric care units, schools, and yes, assisted living facilities. Encouraging pet owners to become therapy animal teams, creating happier, healthier communities through greater access to safe and meaningful interactions with therapy animals. And so this is given this day to all of you, April 24th, with sincere gratitude from Councilwoman Coleman in District 10 and Councilman Roddy Goday, District 3. Come on, Roddy.
Okay. And before I ask Mayor Beth to come up, we're in the habit of introducing the guests that come and join us. So I'll introduce our guests if I can. So let's see, Toshi is here. Where is Toshi? Toshi is here, is a Shiba Inu breed. And then there's Gus. Where is Gus? Is a Basset Hound. Hello, Gus. Clyde is here, a Newfoundland. Oh, there you are. Thank you. Clyde is a large fella. Milo and Coda. Milo's here, terrier. Coda's, there you go. Thank you, thank you. Mickey. Mickey. And Havanese. Havanese. Great. Ranger is here.
Kind of short.
Ranger's my good friend Tommy Latour, who we've recognized here as a veteran in a previous Veterans Day. So very good to see Tommy. KT is our golden retriever. She's here. Lolly. Lolly is our golden doodle. And the reason this group is here is because my next door neighbor is Miss Maribeth, and so Malarkey is a dog that my teenage daughter, who is trying to get into the babysitting business, has practiced with Malarkey a couple of times, come over to watch Malarkey and babysit. And then I come home and I look at my dog and say, why aren't you as well behaved as Malarkey? But no, Maribeth, if you'll come up, please, and tell us a little bit more about what we're recognizing and the group that's here. Please, Pet Partners.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck. She's already got all her hugs today. We were at the airport for an hour and a half, and she loves that because everybody is stressed and it calms them down. But our mission with Bayou Buddies, we are part of Louisiana Capital City Obedience Club, and so the club has agility groups and obedience groups and all kinds, and we are the pet therapy. I'm the coordinator for this, and we go to 11 different senior homes, from assisted living to nursing homes to Alzheimer's places. We also go to schools, and we're invited to schools sometime during exam week. And we go just for the kids to read to the dogs. We have all different kinds of places we go to. And the airport, we talked the airport into letting us go starting last August. And the airport was concerned because they were very small, and they said, we don't have a lot of money. I said, well, we're free. So we're all volunteers, so they couldn't argue with that. So now we go to the airport. But the purpose is to brighten someone's day through the human-animal experience, and we do that. We notice a lot of people like dogs. We like to share with the community our network of caring individuals and their dogs. We have about 28 people in our group, and these are the ones that were able to come today. We like to build connections between volunteers and community organizations looking for pet therapy. So we have a lot of people who will call us. We sat in for the Cystic Fibrosis 5K run this past Saturday, and we were under the mental health tent just for people to come and pet the dogs. All our handlers are volunteers. The dogs have all gone through major obedience training. We don't have a pet therapy training. A lot of it's temperament of the dogs. And they all get along too. That's one thing. We have to make sure they all get along, even in a tight elevator. So we're very, very excited to be recognized because we do a lot of work in the community, and we branch out as much as we can. So if you ever need anybody, any dogs to come by your business, let us know. And these are therapy dogs. They're not support dogs. They're not service animals. These are, like at the airport, we have to tell people you can pet therapy dogs. They're here to be pet. They're here for people. All right. But we also have a gift we'd like to give you. We have partnered with different groups, and this past year we partnered with John James Audubon, Daughters of the American Revolution, and their service project was to collect 200 stuffed animals of dogs or cats and give them out to dementia patients at nursing homes. And so Bayou Buddies helped them with that. And so Margaret Tyler and myself went to the airport on Earth Day and gave out packages of flower seeds and also garden stakes. And so we'd like to give those out to you also. I want to help pass those out. I'll put them here. But if anybody is interested in maybe their dog being super sweet And when I say super sweet, they have to be super sweet in public too, not just at home, because everybody loves their dogs. But please contact me if you are. We're always looking for volunteers. But thank you very, very much. We appreciate being recognized.
Everyone this way. Over here, y'all. Treat. Oh, they're gonna hate me if I start saying that.
All right. Big smile from everybody.
They're not gonna trust me more. Treat.
All right, hold that for me. Nice. 3, 2, 1. All right, hold it for me. All right. Go.
I got mine as well, guys. Thank you.
Thank y'all very much. We'll ask y'all to stay around for the council meeting because we could use some therapy after some of our meetings. So we appreciate it.
We did some training at our house.
Next time I'll know. I'll come over.
And who went swimming one time?
Got him. Thank y'all. We'll be on a 5-minute recess to begin our meeting.
For someone to come rescue their community, that is not reality. So we are bringing together people from, whether you want to buy a new house, to having a house and want to buy a second property, would like to know about how to get adjudicated property, from the city. If you want to know about LHC, Louisiana Housing Corporation, and all the free programs they have. We have persons from Southern University, whereas if a homeowner goes through their program, they have a 4-to-1 match. Just financing Red River Bank, also Capital Area Finance Authority. Occasionally they have grant money. It's just basically anything you would want to know about housing. This is not just for practitioners, however, a great networking opportunity for those that are interested in development. What I find is a lot of people have land and they're like, I have land, but I either want somebody to buy it or develop it. There'll be persons to teach you or to network on that. Lastly, when we talk about blight in East Baton Rouge Parish, we spend a lot of money cutting grass. We spend a lot of money tearing down or demolishing houses. However, the answer to blight is putting something on it. If there's a house and we demolish it, we still, chances are, have to go out and cut it, 311 calls, snakes in the neighborhood, all that. But if we are able to get someone to put a structure, it will solve our housing crisis in this parish, and it would also serve our blight problem. In East Baton Rouge Parish, especially in distressed areas, we do have single family houses, we do have multi-level, but we don't have townhouses, we don't have cottages, we don't have some of the other different kinds of housing. That is what we want in our communities. And it's going to take everybody that owns any one piece of property to turn it into where someone can live, safe, affordable housing. Lastly, the reason why I call it missing middle is we talk a lot, that we hear a lot about low income families and all the different methods they have to get housing, and we know about the high end. But in the middle, that is where the real crisis is for people who are making what we call middle class money, trying to find houses to grow their families, to live in, and we just invite everyone to come. Lastly, there is, how many doors are closed lastly? But lastly, it is a $100 registration for both days. There are full days, breakfast and lunch, and again, lots of networking. So if you're willing to invest $100 into the financial wealth of your family, then it's going to be worth it, and you're going to thank me later. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 5-minute break and then start the regular council meeting. So we're 5-minute recess. Yeah, they told me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Council Chamber of East Baton Rouge Parish, April 24th, 2024. And before we get started, on behalf of Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome and this Metropolitan Council, congratulations to the LSU women's gymnastics team for winning the national championship in Fort Worth. They outscored the Cal Bears, the Utah Utes, and the Florida Gators, one of their rivals in the SEC. A big parade tonight at 6:30. Hope that all of you are headed that way. And then the celebration in the PMAC. At this time, here is the Mayor President Pro Tem of East Baton Rouge Parish, Councilman Lamont Cole. Councilman?
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our regularly scheduled Metropolitan Council meeting on this Wednesday, April 24, 2024. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Ashley, do we have a quorum?
We have a quorum.
At this time, I'd like to pass it to Councilmember Cleve Dunn Jr. to introduce our guest to lead us in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Dunn Jr.
Yes, if Pastor Dale Flowers can approach, as well as Principal Brandon Fontenot and the Capitol High School students. We're going to start with the invocation by Pastor Dale Flowers, who is a resident of District 6. We're going to excuse the fact that he's a fellow alumni president of the McKinley High School Alumni Association. But the best high school in the city of Baton Rouge is going to do the pledge, represented by Capitol High School. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay. So I'm allowed to respond to that before. Well, we love Capitol High School. You have to have someone to follow the leader. So all is well. As we bow our heads, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you, God, for all of its possibilities and opportunities. We pray, dear God, that we've lived this day in a way that has brought you glory, honor, and praise, and has been helpful, dear God, to those that we've encountered along the way. We come, God, praying for the safety and well-being of our city and indeed our parish. We pray, God, now that you would bless these women and men who've offered themselves up for service. We pray, God, that your presence be acknowledged and felt in this place, asking, God, that they have prepared themselves for the agenda on this day, that they are well studied to make informed decisions, and they have an ear to hear the citizens, those who come in opposition and those who come in support. Again, God, have your way in this place as the business of this city is conducted. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Capitol High. Thank you, Pastor. We appreciate you all being here. Item 1, approval and adoption of the minutes of the special Metropolitan Council meeting of April 15, 2024, the special Metropolitan Council meeting of April 17, 2024, and the Metropolitan Council zoning meeting of April 17, 2024 by council administrators. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve item 1? So moved by Councilmember Hudson, seconded by Councilmember Amorosa. Any objections? Excuse me. Councilmember Coleman. Any objections? It has passed. Ashley, would you please read the introductions?
Section 2.12, introductions. Number 2, amend ordinance 15201 and ordinance 17996 which created the competitive positions of Deputy Chief of Police so as to amend Section 1 thereof in order to remove the maximum number of positions effective February 9th, 2024, by Chief Administrative Officer to the Mayor President and Human Resources Director. Number 3, amend the 2024 pay plan for the classified, unclassified, non-classified contract fire and police employees of the City of Baton Rouge, Parish of East Baton Rouge, so as to make the following changes effective May 9th, 2024. Add new classification, Director of Special Projects, by Parish Attorney and Human Resources Director. Number 4, amend the 2024 allotment of positions for the City of Baton Rouge and Parish of East Baton Rouge so as to change the allotment of Development, Parish Attorney, and Police effective May 9th, 2024. Development, Administration, add 1 Code Enforcement Manager. Development, Neighborhood Revitalization, delete 1 Senior Clerical Specialist. Parish Attorney, Administration, delete 1 Assistant Parish Attorney, and add 1 Director of Special Projects. And Police, delete 1 Police Major, and add 1 Deputy Chief of Police, by Chief Administrative Officer to the Mayor President and Human Resources Director. Number 5, authorizing settlement of the matter entitled Joseph Michael Winchester versus the City of Baton Rouge in the amount of $75,000 plus court costs in the amount of $699.69 for a total amount of $75,699.69 and appropriating that sum for such purpose by the Parish Attorney. Number 6, enacting an ordinance and authorizing the Mayor President to execute an agreement giving Vexus Fiber a franchise for the initial term of 10 years, providing for the right to construct, lease, and/or operate fiber optic cable and all appurtenances and appendages to it for the provision of services to the city in the city parish's right-of-way for the operation of a fiber network, by Councilman Lamont Cole and Councilman Rowdy Goday. Condemnation introductions. Number 7, Melanie Salvaggio and Sarah Salvaggio, 9324 Cuyahoga Parkway, Council District 6, Dunn Jr. Number 8, the estate of Jimmy C. Prater and the estate of Annie Bell Nellen Prater, 4130 Provo Street, Council District 7, Cole. Number 9, Terrence Connor and Chatoya Carter, 701 North Acadian Thruway West, Council District 7, Cole. Number 10, Eudora Tonita Bell, Jesse Bell Sr., and Essie Lee Bell Berry, 4121 Odell Street, Council District 7, Cole. Number 11, Felicia D. Williams, 4082 Provo Street, Council District 7, Cole. Number 12, Collis B. Temple, 1255 Convention Street, Council District 10, Coleman. Adjudicated property introductions. Number 13, Lot 26, Square 42, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Metro Council District 10, Coleman. Number 14, Lot 29, Square 41, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 15, Lot 30, Square 42, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 16, Lot 32 plus, Square 37, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 17, Lot 12, Square 42, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 18, Lot 25, Square 42, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 19, Lot 19, Square 41, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 20, Lot 3, Square 2, Subdivision North Baton Rouge, Council District 2, Banks. Number 21, Lot 6, Square 2, Subdivision North Baton Rouge, Council District 2, Banks. Number 22, Lot 14 plus, Square 17, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 23, Lot 8, Square 2, Subdivision Plank Road, Council District 7, Cole. Number 24, Lot 23 and 24, Square 24, Subdivision Fortune, Council District 5, Hearst. Number 25, Lot 32A and 36A, Square 50, Subdivision Fortune, Council District 5, Hearst. Number 26, Lot 143, Subdivision Woodlawn, Council District 5, Hearst. Number 27, Lot 165, Subdivision Woodlawn, Council District 5, Hearst. Number 28, Lot 23, Square 179, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 29, Lot 10 and 11, Subdivision Magenta, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 30, Lot 3, Square 2, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 12, Rocca. Number 31, Lot 17, Square 2, Subdivision North Baton Rouge, Council District 2, Banks. All items require reading have been read, and a motion to introduce all items is in order.
We'll entertain a motion by Councilmember Goday, seconded by Councilmember Coleman. Any objections to the introductions? All items have been introduced. Council members, we now go to a separate sheet for condemnations. I'll read the DPW recommendations as they have been given to us. They are to proceed with items 55, 56, 57, 60, 62, 63, 64, 65, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, and 73. And they are to defer for 90 days items 59, 61, and 67, and to delete items 58 and 66. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the condemnation? We now go to council members. Councilmember Rock, I got you. Councilmember Dunn Jr., you have anything?
And I
Councilmember Coleman, go ahead.
Number 56, 90 days. Number 62, 60 days. Number 63, 30 days. And number 71, 30 days.
Please turn your phones off. Or silence them, rather. Any other Councilmember Goder, you had something? All right. I'm going to read the recommendations and stated changes. They are to proceed with items 55, 65, 68, 69, 70, and 72. They are to defer for 30 days items 57, 63, 71, and 73. Defer for 60 days items 58 and 62. Defer for 90 days items 59, 60, 56, 61, 64, and 67, and to delete item 66. Council members, I entertain a motion at this time. I entertain a motion. There's a motion by Councilmember Hudson, seconded by Councilmember Dunn Jr. Condemnations have been approved. My apologies, not a phone. Go ahead, what you said?
I was asking about 59. I didn't request anything.
It was sent to us by DBW.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Administrative Assistance Day, so I would like to personally acknowledge all of the council aides who do all the real work in the council office. We know that council members don't do anything. So our council aides who do all the real work. Let's give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. And happy birthday to Jacob. Who? Go ahead, tell me.
Happy birthday to the District 9 Council Aide Jacob Shaffett.
Happy birthday. Congratulations. And to all of the other departments in the city parish, we want to say happy Administrative Assistance Day to all of those secretaries who work in the various departments. And I see our chief of the fire department is here. Chief, I hope you took care of your secretary today, treated to a good dinner at Rouge Chris on your dime now. I can't use taxpayer dollars on your dime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would now, we're going to go to our public hearing items. And if you would turn, council members. If you would turn to page 16, item 74, a resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the city of Baton Rouge, state of Louisiana on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, under the provisions of Article 6, Section 30 of the Louisiana Constitution, 1974, for the purpose of authorizing levy collection, special ad valorem tax of 6 mills on the dollar of assessed valuation of property subject to taxation within the boundaries of the city of Baton Rouge, state of Louisiana, in perpetuity commencing with the tax collection for the year 2025, the annual thereafter, provide funds for the increase in salaries, benefits of all employees of the fire department of the city of Baton Rouge who are members of the municipal fire and police civil service system by prepared bond counsel at the request of the Baton Rouge Firefighters International Association. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Come on down, state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. My name's Jake Morgan, president of the Baton Rouge Professional Firefighters Association. I live on Drusilla Lane here in Baton Rouge. What this ad valorem proposition would do would be allow for an increase in salaries for the Baton Rouge Fire Department employees. It would put us in line with where we need to be. I ask for favorable passage and can answer any questions on the matter.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to Councilmember Moat.
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 74.
Councilmember Moat.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Jake, thank you very much. Ladies, much needed. First of all, I'd like to make a motion for approval for this.
I second.
Hold up.
I apologize. Let me make the amendment first.
Right.
Sorry. So anyway, this is something that's been very much needed. We want to thank all of our firefighters for everything that they do. I think even with this pay increase that you have, you still probably got a long way to go for the job that you do in serving this community and everything. So first of all, thank y'all for everything that you do. Also, in talking with Jake and some of the other firefighters and the ones that have been dealing with this, I'd like to make an amendment to this item, and instead of being in perpetuity, we're going to put it at a 10-year ad valorem tax. So I'd like to make the amendment, make the motion to amend it with a 10-year.
Seconded. Motion by Councilmember Moak, seconded by Councilmember Rocker. Are there any objections? Go ahead. Show Councilmember Hudson objecting. Are there any objections? The item passes. Oh, you want to speak? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I was first hoping to hear from the Mayor President's office to see if they had an opinion about this item.
Anyone here from Mayor President's office? Courtney, you're going to be up. If no one shows up next, you're going to be up on the hot seat.
All right, that's the only question I had. Thank you.
All right, any objections? Item passes. Congratulations to the firefighters. Thank you for your service.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Councilmember.
You were asking for objections to the amendment.
To the motion. The motion was to approve with the amendment.
Did we approve the amendment? Who made the motion in the second?
Councilmember Moak made the motion. Councilmember Rocker seconded.
Okay.
The approval with the amendment.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready to call for the item to be voted on. I will object.
That is what just happened.
That's what just happened. You want to object?
I thought you were referring to the amendment.
Okay.
I will object to the item.
You're objecting to the item.
Vote on machines.
All right, so
Vote on the machines.
We're going to vote on the machines.
I'm sorry, I was talking to Fred. Can I hear the amendment again?
10 years.
Huh?
Instead of in perpetuity, 10 years.
10 years, okay.
Okay. We're going to vote on the machines.
Just for a point of information to make sure everybody's clear with what we're doing, Ashley, can you read exactly what we're doing? Is everybody paying attention? All right. Go ahead, Ashley.
The motion on the floor is to approve, and I'm going to read the item. A resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the city of Baton Rouge, state of Louisiana, on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, under the provisions of Article 6, Section 30 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974 as amended, and other constitutional and statutory authority, for the purpose of authorizing the levy and collection of a special ad valorem tax of 6 mills on the dollar of assessed valuation on all property subject to taxation within the boundaries of the city of Baton Rouge, state of Louisiana, for a period of 10 years, commencing with the tax collection year 2025 and annually thereafter. That's the motion. The motion is to approve that language.
Motion is to approve by Councilmember Moak, seconded by Councilmember Rocker. Councilmember Hudson.
I do just want to give some clarity to my objection, right? So a couple things. One, when we look at Baton Rouge Fire Department funding, it is largely general fund. And so we're going to pass an item that gives an ad valorem tax for them, but we've done nothing to ensure that there won't be any changes to the general fund allotment. If we're not doing this in concert with the mayor's office, if we're not setting ourselves up to where we've got some sort of guarantee that we're not going to pass a tax to then reduce the general fund allotment, I think that just is totally wrong to the taxpayer. The other thing that I've looked at is there's been discussions around city parish about sort of an all-encompassing public safety tax that could be done at some point to fund things like BRPD, Baton Rouge Fire, the DA's office, and other entities, along with a new jail as well. So I think that it's disingenuous. That's probably the wrong word, but I don't think it's our best foot forward if we're doing these piecemeal, right? If we're doing this once at a time, and then we're going to come back to the taxpayers in another year, another 2 years for more items. I think we need to tell them what we need. If it's got to be new taxes, then so be it. But we need to tell them what we need and go out there and sell it to them. I don't like the idea of piecemeal approach. Look, I want to get the fire department more money as well. I know you guys need more money. I just think this is the wrong approach. So, thank you.
Councilmember Rocker.
I just think we need to clear up the record for all of those people that are listening and for the news that's reporting. In no way, shape, or form is this council passing a tax. We're actually sending this to the ballots in the fall for the citizens of our community to make an evaluation as to whether or not our firemen and fire ladies need the potential raise or deserve that millage. In fact, if you want to turn your property tax bill over and see the things that people vote for millages, go ahead and take that time to do it and evaluate how much money goes to other programs and think about what that looks like and how we could potentially benefit our firefighters. Is there someone here from the fire department that can come up and tell me what the average salary is for someone that's been on the force somewhere between 10 and 15 years?
Step 8 firefighter, excuse me, is around a 7 to 8 year member of our department. Their salary is at $40,000. Then with our built-in overtime, our state pay they receive is a total of $50,001.
Is that competitive?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So knowledge is power, and I trust our voters to inform themselves and to do their own homework and do their own research before they go to the ballots and make those decisions. But again, at no point are we passing a tax. We're sending it to our citizens, to our constituents, to our community for them to make their educated decision and choice as to what to do as a voter of this city. So I trust that they're going to go and make the right decision. So that's why I'm supporting this measure.
Councilmember Dunn Jr.
Thank you. Let me first start by agreeing with my colleague, Councilman Hudson, that there are other issues from a public safety standpoint that we need to address, and we need to get our heads wrapped around and find a solution to some of these challenges, i.e. the prison and the conditions of the prison and some other things. I do know that there is a pay study that's looking at all public safety and looking at all city parish employees, but just as some other initiatives that have come before us, I don't think we need to wait for a pay study or evaluation if departments and portions of city parish come up with a solution internally themselves that can find them with some relief. And I think this does that. What I will disagree with my colleague, Councilman Hudson, is there are three branches of government: the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and the executive branch. The mayor's office is the executive branch. We're the legislative branch. We don't need to act in concert with the mayor's office now or no other time. I'm very shocked to hear him say that, because he's always against the mayor's office on some items. So he want to act in concert with the mayor's office right now and want their opinion. We don't need the mayor's opinion. We don't need to act in concert with her. You have been voted by the people to make your decision to vote for it, support it or not, and that's what you should do here today. Councilwoman Rocker made mention about we're not passing a tax, and we're not passing a tax. We are sending it to the voters for the voters to decide. But I will vote to send it to the voters to decide. I will vote for it as a voter in support of it, and I will advocate for my community to vote for it as well. I support you guys in the work that you do, and I look forward to this tax passing and give you some release and some pay raise. The final thing I will say as I close out, my council colleague, Councilman Hudson, if this was the St. George Fire Department, I don't think we'd be having the same comments from him. So, again, thank you guys for coming out here, and look forward to this passing, look forward to passing at the ballot box.
Councilmember Nolan.
Thank you. I agree with a lot that's been said. Councilwoman Rock is correct. We're not passing a tax here, and I'm not here to advocate for a tax. The way I look at this is you all brought a need and communicated a need to me as well as my colleagues. I think it holds merit and it has validity. And so for those reasons, I think I will not be a barrier to you bringing your case to the people. And just like you all are here tonight and you came to us, I think you'll do the same thing with the people, and I think they'll probably respond accordingly. But that's the way I view this, is I don't want to be a barrier to something that I think is valid, what you're bringing. Now, if I thought it didn't have merit, then I would feel different, and I would speak different, and I would vote different. But I'm going to support this because I think what you brought to us has merit, and it is valid. As far as having discussions about bringing a comprehensive tax for public safety altogether, I have heard mention of that. I've not had substantive discussions about that. If you all have been a part of that and know about it, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I still think that's up to you to decide whether you want to be a part of that or you want to do your own thing. And so I don't think it's fair to you all to have to tie yourselves to other entities if you think, again, that you can bring your situation to the public and say, here's what we need and here's why. And if you think you can be successful in that way, then I think you need to be able to do that on your own. In fact, I think the taxpayers would like to have a la carte, this is what I'd like my dollar spent on, and this is what I wouldn't. And I know I would. So I don't think I'd like to be able to carve out every piece that my dollars go to, and I think the taxpayers will appreciate that. So from that standpoint, I don't believe in trying to compile a bunch that makes the pill easier to swallow. I think I'm going to move out of your way because I think this has merit, and I'm going to let you all go to the voters and make your case to them. So, thank you.
Councilmember Banks.
Yes, to President Jake and also Chief Kimball and all of you gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to offer my condolences. I know you all have had a long day today in putting to rest your colleague. And first of all, the fact that you're still here, I commend you for being here. I think all of us don't like taxes, and I would love to see a public safety tax, but I cannot. But because that's not happening, and I'm not bringing it again, just as my Councilman Noel said, we can't hold you hostage while that's done. In the last 4 to 8 years, I've understood the concern that that has been mentioned as it relates to where the different taxes are laying, but nobody's put anything on to leverage that. So again, if that's an interest for any one of the council members, you know, that we may be paying high taxes with one area and not other, it's our responsibility to bring something to the council that, again, bring leverage. But you all do heart-wrenching work. Even when you're not doing fire, I got off the phone with Chief Kimball because I needed somebody to come help me clean Scotlandville Plaza this weekend. And also, you know, whenever I am calling the fire department for something with EBR schools to serve and cook for teachers or for an event, you all are there. And so your commitment spans beyond whatever 40 hours is in overtime that the state, you have a commitment to this community. And for that reason, not only do I extend my appreciation for you all, I do support this. I was on my way in, I said, I'm not voting for nothing with perpetuity. And one of your colleagues said, you don't know what that means. I said, I Googled it. And so I'm good with 10 years, you know. But thank you all again, and I wish you well at the polls. I won't be campaigning because I'm tired of campaigning, but I do wish you well. Thank you.
Councilmember Moak.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you very much. Look, all my council colleagues, thank y'all very much for the input. Thank y'all for all the words that you said. What are you for or against it? Look, I haven't sat here and went to a lot of y'all and said, you know, or asked up to a point, yes or no. I want you to vote your conscience on this. I understand that you're putting before the people. You're putting before the people to vote on a tax itself. And that's one of the reasons that, look, they came to me just like all of y'all. They asked if this is something that we would support. We had discussions. I talked with Jake several times and others about the public service tax that may be coming up. What should we, wait for that and so on and so forth. And we just felt that this was right to put this before the people with this. We don't know what's going to happen with the other one. We're working, y'all seen the emails and everything else about the parish prison and what we're going to have to go through with that. We don't know when that'll be, what time it'll be. These firefighters need this. In my mind, they need this right now. And we need to get it on the books and get it started as quick as possible. I'm just going to ask. I'm going to ask, I know we got 2 colleagues that have come out in objection of it. I would love to see this go through unanimous. I would love to see this support. I know you're not supporting the fire department. Don't get me wrong. You have your right to make your objection and everything. But again, I go back to what some of the other colleagues have said and all. We're here to represent our districts and our areas. And I know a lot of us have made a promise not to raise taxes and so on and so forth. I'm not sitting here passing this tax, like Councilwoman Rocca said. I'm giving the people of my area, and there's not many in my area that are going to vote on this tax. I'll say that publicly. I'll say that outright. But I know if Central came to us or people in that area came to us, I would do the same vote. But I'm asking to look at this from a standpoint of you're giving your constituents in that area the right to make their decision, to make their mind, just like they made a decision to vote for you, to put you here in this seat, to give that option to support these ladies and gentlemen of the fire service. And I'm asking, if we can make this a unanimous vote and bring this before the people. Thank you.
Councilmember Hudson.
I just, real quick, Councilman Dunn made several good points, and I just wanted to address at least one of them, and that being the St. George Fire Department. I did vote for a millage item to be put before the voters on St. George, and I think the difference there is $55 million in general fund dollars, right? That's the amount of general fund dollars that this council, the mayor's office, that our taxpayers send to Baton Rouge Fire. And so that's the difference. You've got an entity that is heavily supported from the general fund with the Baton Rouge Fire Department, and then one that is not supported at all from the general fund being St. George. And so that's why I felt like that item was appropriate. Again, I'll just say if this item does pass tonight, there ought to be some sort of message, some sort of response from the mayor president's office that general fund allotment is not going to change. Because if we get into a situation where we've now passed a tax under the guise of increasing revenues for pay, and then the general fund allotment changes, then you're not going to be able to do that pay, right? We've sold a bill of goods to the voters that we can't actually commit on. So the mayor needs to make a statement. She needs to say what she's going to do on this item. I think that's important.
Councilmember Dunn.
I don't want to belittle this, but again, I disagree. If we get to the point every item come up, we need the mayor to make a commitment what's going to be in the budget, what's not going to be in the budget on that item. We'll never get anything done. So I would ask that we can move forward and call for the question.
We're going to call for the question. There's a vote. There's a motion on the floor by Councilman Moak, seconded by Councilmember Rock. And let me just say why I'm supporting that item, Councilmember Dunn Jr. Number one, I support firefighters. They're on the front line. I appreciate the work they do. I've firsthand seen them show up on various different occasions and provide support and care to many of our citizens. And on a lighter note, it's an election year. I can't afford to be on the ballot having come out against our first responders. So I'm going to vote for it tonight. I'm going to vote for it in November after I vote for myself. And good luck. I hope you all, get away with it. I support the firefighters. We're going to vote on the machine.
Machines are open on the motion to approve as amended. Let's try again. Machines are open on the motion to approve as amended. She got it. Motion carries.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Congratulations. Thank you. We're moving on now to an item. We got some people here who have come to visit with us. We're going to take the report first from Ladies and gentlemen, if you would go to page 29, we're going to receive a report from Dr. James Richardson on the Economic Development District by Councilmember Dunn Jr., and then we're going to hear from Baton Rouge High right after. But first, Councilmember Dunn Jr., Jim Richardson. Is Dr. Richardson here?
Yes, he's here. As he comes, as you guys know and as the public know, I presented an item to create the Cortana Corridor Economic Development District. There's been a couple other items that have been either presented to this body or discussed amongst us about potentially bringing to this body. Archaea Cove is one. The recent River Center Economic Development District is one. In my opinion, a lot of comments, questions, and concerns was raised. Some of them I think was valid. Some of them I think was some sort of misinformation. As I shared with Mr. Richardson, as what I think, and I think many in the city and in the state feels, that he's a subject matter expert on EDDs. I thought it would be proper for him to come share with us what he thought, what his opinion was of what EDDs are, what they are not, and answer any questions that we may have, because just in my conversation with many of our colleagues, many stakeholders, many constituents, there are a lot of questions that are unanswered. So hopefully you can answer some of those questions. Hopefully some of my colleagues have some questions as well. Turn it over to Mr. Richardson.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. We're going to have a report first, and then we'll go to the public hearing, and then we'll come back to any questions council members may have. Dr. Richardson, you got the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. And I will try to answer all of Mr. Dunn's questions as best I can. However, you have to start out by saying that each economic development district proposal is different, and you have to work with that proposal. But first, let's start with what we call the very broad definition of an economic development district and what's purpose in life. And its purpose is to create, accelerate, maintain economic growth in a particular area, a defined geographic area. We note that this is not an economic issue unique to Louisiana. Economic development districts are nationwide. They're state-generated, they're locally controlled, or locally voted on. So the idea is, the framework is created by the state legislature, but the legal ability to create an economic development district is a local government decision to make. And then you ask, okay, what's the purpose of any economic development district? What's the purpose from the community's perspective? And once you have it, unfortunately, there's nothing free. There's a cost that we have to deal with. And the question is, how do we pay that cost? How do we fund it? So that's the first part, it's the purpose. And then we say, well, enhancing ability to develop a certain geographic area. Do we have any examples? Well, we have a number of examples throughout the state and also within this area and within the state. And you can kind of sense how they come together. For example, the French Quarter District in New Orleans voted for a very small sales tax on the citizens who live in that area to help pay for public safety. It was very specific. The sales tax rate, very specific. The use of that money, very specific. And that money went to that district. It did not stop at City Hall. It did not stop at the Metro Council or the City Council there. It went straight to that district for the public safety support. That's one. Ruston created an economic development district starting a number of years ago to develop along Interstate 20. If you can remember Ruston 20 years ago, on one side of the interstate there was almost nothing. Today it's thriving. It was built and it was developed as an economic development district. I had the pleasure of working with the mayor of Ruston on doing that one. Lake Charles is now looking at developing an economic development district. In fact, they have one along the lake there, trying to encourage residents to stay there and live there because of the quality of life, also encouraging additional tourists to come to that city. It is in process as we talk. Will it be successful? Again, they're banking on it, but there's no certainty for sure. You have the other one, Denham Springs, developed about 15 or so years ago, an area that was empty, basically. They brought a Bass Pro Shop there. It has been an incredible success story. Again, I had the pleasure of working with the mayor of Denham Springs on building that one, working it together, getting it approved by the voters, and it has been an enormous success. Much more than just a Bass Pro Shop there now. It has developed other retail things. In that case, it was almost like hitting a home run in this area. Now, in Baton Rouge, there's the Baton Rouge North Economic Development District. It's wider, bigger, perhaps a little bit less defined as to, we know what we want to do, but in terms of one particular building, no, not like that. So it's a little bit wider from that angle. And then you had one just recently, from 2019, I believe, Western Economic Development came along, and it is more specific, much more specific in nature, about developing in an area. You have development, homes, retail. You will all have impact also on outside of the area as well. So again, those are two within the city limit area. But districts, again, you're looking at a particular point. Now, the ultimate point is you want to promote private economic development. A government can do a certain amount, but at the end of the day, if private businesses don't come in, it's not going to be successful. You have to have that type of input, period. So that's the first thing. And it is, from the community's perspective, it's an investment. You want a rate of return. You don't want to lose money on this deal. Now, in terms of identifying exactly what it is that you want, it could be you merely want to improve the appearance of this area. And you can do that with your TIF or your additional sales tax, but you need private industry to come in and help you do that. So questions, obviously, at the end of the day, this is like, it's an investment. We want to define what we really want to do, and then figure out, have we done it or not? Now, I think that's the hard part, because it doesn't happen a day, doesn't happen in a week, it happens in years. So you have to be willing to take some time. And then questions, okay, the funding, where did you get the money as a local government? Well, you have a couple of possibilities. According to the state law, you have what they call TIFs, which is tax incremental financing. Now, in that situation, there you're saying above a certain amount. For example, let's say we have a certain area of a city that we want to develop. There are some sales taxes coming in right now. So we can say those will stay with the city as it is right now, going to the general fund. Now, anything above that, over the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever time we set, that will go into this district, which will be an entity that will have the ability to use that money for special things in that district only. So that's incremental financing. Now, that's been doing, and that is suggested, they're doing that in a number of places. That has happened. But there it is, the increment, only the increment. But the city does not share in the growth of that area for some time, because you're saying we need to have that money, and that's our investment into certain public activities. Could be roads, could be storage, could be any number of public items that we have to take care of. It could be advertising for this area around, but it has to be done. It's by the public sector, by the district, and it's used for purposes only in that district. That's incremental. The other element is you can add a couple of pennies, up to 2 pennies to the sales tax. And that will be additional money. That money would never have been part of the parish's money to start with. But it can be used from that purpose there. And as I said, it's to essentially initiate and sustain economic activity and encourage private investment. And again, the dollars are used for public projects, for items that we typically fund through a public budget. It could be, as I said, infrastructure, things of that nature. It could be enhancing the workforce in that area, any number of things that we say. Those are legitimate public functions that we need to take care of. And as I said, the money does not go through the Metro Council. It goes through this Economic Development District, period. And the question is, okay, in general, do they work? Well, it would be absolutely a misstatement to say, oh, sure, it's a sure thing. It's not a sure thing. It's an investment. And you have to be careful as you work it out to say, okay, let's work out the details to say, okay, do we think essentially as business people, will this provide a rate of return to the city? We're not helping. We're not worried about the private individuals who are making investments there. They're worried about themselves, and they will take care of themselves, and they should. We're worried about the community in general. Will it work out for us? And I think that's a very important part. But at the end of the day, you're saying we have not been able to recruit businesses in a certain area. We've not been able to see that area grow. Or it may be something brand new that we want to do, that we say, how do we get this done? Well, an economic development district is one possibility, it's an alternative, and it gives us tools to work with that we have to work out very carefully, because, as I said, there is a cost involved. It's an investment. There's no certainty it's going to work out exactly the way people anticipate. However, you can certainly, I think, in these situations, you can do a good job of estimating the odds that it will not, and it's very easy to say no then. Now, those that are a little bit tougher to decide, you have to, you say, okay, we're willing to take the chance. We're willing to risk a little bit, because we think if it does work out, it will be fantastic. Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. As I said, you have all sorts of situations where I have some that have been, in my judgment, hugely successful. We have others that we still don't know for sure. And there's some which have not really worked out at all. So as you do one, you have to be careful, but again, it's an investment, and I think it's an element where we can decide, okay, this is something we should try, because we need to upgrade this particular part of the city, or this particular part of the parish, or this little region. It could be a very relatively large, it could be relatively small. And I'll be more than happy to answer your questions as you may have them.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. At this time, is anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Anyone wishing to speak on the item? Council members, any questions from council members relative to the report? Council member Hudson.
Dr. Richardson, this is just an idea that I had as you were talking, not one that's been fleshed out, but it seems to me that if we're going to embark on giving up some city parish general fund, ultimately the 2% that we're talking about is city parish general fund, there ought to be a significant amount of buy-in from the representatives of the constituency to that. So currently, if you're going to pass the economic development district, it just requires a simple majority, 7 votes here on the council. In your opinion, then, does it make sense to have more buy-in? Does it make sense to have a 2/3 majority requirement to create buy-in for an economic development district?
I would say for I think from a city perspective, it certainly is nice to have an overwhelming majority of people saying, we think it's going to work. Now, in the world we live in the world, and we have differences of opinion about everything. I can't answer that question. I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer that question for you, okay? But I can understand. I think as a general principle, certainly it will be very nice to have a 10-2 vote, or 11-1, maybe 12-0 even. But those sometimes are hard to get.
Yeah. Well, just for the sake of discussion, I would even say an eight vote, right? That's what we do on some planning commission items, for example, that require significant, it's another hurdle, right? And you'd be surprised that 8th vote can be tough to get sometimes. So
I can imagine.
I appreciate the information. This is good, and thank you to Councilman Dunn for organizing.
Councilmember Gode.
Thank you very much. I simply wanted to recognize Dr. Richardson, number one, because when I was in graduate school, he allowed me to take some of his economics courses and allowed me to come to him. Allowed me to come to him with my 4th grade level questions, and he explained it to me very well. But also because he has served our community, he served our state, and been a trusted advisor in the state capitol. And so he's got a reputation that very much precedes him, and his time at LSU has been one that's been recognized. So just wanted to say thank you, Dr. Richardson, for all you've done. Appreciate your input and advice.
Thank you, Rowdy.
Councilmember Banks.
Yes, sir, Dr. Richardson.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Good. Do you, you mentioned Baton Rouge North Economic Development District, and it's taken a lot of different, lots of changes from names to board governance, and even the boundaries. So do you consult on those things after a period? Is there a way to know whether or not there needs to be a restructuring of boundaries, what would be more, so it's really large, but only one part there's not the kind of work and economic increase across because it's so large with such a small amount of money. Do you ever, is there a way to look at data to determine if there needs to be a breakup of an economic development district so that it could be more productive and more beneficial? I guess does that make sense?
Yeah, I think in that case, the North Economic Development District,
it goes from so Thomas large, Road all the way to.
Yes, it is. I know exactly where it is, and I think the attempt to improve that area of the city is admirable.
Right.
I think it's necessary. I'm not sure this tool exactly is the right tool to use, only because there's nothing specific.
Right.
It's not like the one out, as we're talking about Bass Pro. There was a very specific investment that was going to be forthcoming.
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, that's not the same situation. You're trying to improve a geographic area which needed improvement, but there's got to be some driver. Besides just that little tip or that little incremental financing. That's not going to be enough.
Right.
And now about the issue about the board, that's almost beyond my expertise.
Sure.
But obviously it's an important issue that you have to take up.
Okay. So I probably will call you because I am concerned about that. And so I will
I'll be happy to talk with you about, because again, as I say, I think it's a very important part of the city. It needs improvement. And I'm not sure this is working as you hoped it would have.
Right, I agree. All right, thank you very much.
Councilmember Adams.
I'll be brief, but just want to acknowledge, I think I'm correct in saying that you started the public administration degree at LSU. Is that correct?
Well, not exactly. I started an institute. We started the institute that housed the program. It started kind of by itself back in the 70s when I was still very young.
Well, when I was so very young, took a number of classes with you in the public administration
Yes.
program, and I was actually expecting you to lecture for 3 hours tonight. So,
No, I think I was told by Mr. Dunn, don't you dare.
thank you for being here, and thank you for the impact you have had on so many of our public administration professionals.
Okay.
Councilmember Rocco.
Okay, so I know nothing, and I took none of your classes. I was,
Okay. Well, you lucked out, I guess.
I wouldn't say so. So I'm going to ask you maybe some silly questions, and maybe based upon my experience and my education, run you through a couple of hypotheticals, if that's possible. I noticed whenever you were speaking, and also on your background, you talked about an existing tax or the potential of having 2% above an existing tax. So whenever we speak to, are they named different things, or are we just going to existing tax or above existing?
Well, I think that's really the way the law is defined it as such as one is if you can argue that there is a, say, 2% tax right now. We can say on a TIF, for example, that 2% tax is expected to grow at, say, 2% a year for the next 20 years. That belongs to the city. But anything above that amount
Yes, sir.
belongs to this district.
Okay.
So it's still 2%. The city still gets its share as its 2% at giving its current level, but you're saying there will be increments to that revenue because of improvements in the economy in that area, because of the investments we're making. But the money has to be used in that area as such. So that's the one part of it. And that's the existing tax. They go up, but obviously the dollars go up that you collect from it. The other side is you can say you take the 2%, you say we're going to tack on 2 more. Only in this district, though. Only in this district. No place else. And then that's the interesting one, because if we do that, we can't just do it without a vote of the people who live in the district. This is why in many economic development districts, what do? You look for places where there are no people.
Right.
You don't want to vote because you don't know what they're going to do. You look for a place, and to some extent that can make some sense. But how many open fields do we have that we say that will be a great economic development district?
Yes, sir. So when we speak to general fund dollars, and we're talking about taking money out of the general fund because we've created an economic development district, if we're adding this sales tax on top of a tax, and this area is developed and does thrive, then are we technically taking any money out of the general fund? Because in your scenario, otherwise it would just be a field, correct?
Yeah. Well, typically what's happened in those situations, there'll be within the document that you would sign, the legal document, there would be a limit to how many years it might be. It might be 10 years, could be 20 years, a limit to that number of years. At that point, it then goes back to the general fund. So that's the tie that essentially does become part of the general fund. Or if it's an extra 2%, it goes away, period, after so many years.
So essentially, when it's a field, it's nothing, and there are no taxes there. But when there's a TIF and we're growing the area, we're not stealing taxpayer dollars. We're just utilizing them to grow the area with a return investment with the 2% incremental rates. Okay. So that part I just couldn't wrap my head around, because I've heard so many miscommunications about that. So I'm so happy that you're here today to clear that up. I think that's all I have for now. Thank you so much.
Now, I think other element we need to add, we always make sure you don't want to merely improve area A at the expense of area B. You got to be there. Maybe right. So you want new development,
right?
And that's what you're aiming for. That's why, from the city's perspective, that's what we should be aiming for. I mean, obviously, a private investor, they don't care where they get their business from. It's not their problem. As a city, though, it is your problem. You don't want to move the business from Rowdy's district to Ms. Adams' district.
Right.
Ms. Adams ain't like that. Rowley may object to it. So you have to be careful about that too.
Thank you.
Councilmember Dunn Jr.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Richardson, there were a couple things that stuck out to me in your presentation. One of the things you said was it was very important that government didn't act alone and that there was private business investment. You talked about how important that was. The other thing you talked about is specific investments. You talked about how you felt there was no specific investment in the North Baton Rouge Economic Development District. You talked about how the Bass Pro shop itself was a specific investment in the Denham Springs EDD. For us in the Cartana corridor, the Amazon facility was the specific investment. In the Archaea Cove proposed EDD, there was a specific investment in a mixed-use investment there. We're currently working on the Florida Boulevard corridor and improving it. Myself and Councilwoman Coleman attended a community meeting on yesterday about it. They used the language catalyst project, something that can be the driver and the catalyst to impact the area. So I just wanted to reinforce that and make sure that we heard you on saying that this is an important element of creating the EDD. Would you not agree?
Oh, I think it's very important that it's an idea you have somebody coming in that you say, okay, this company is going to come in and do something, and then that company is going to ideally, it will develop. But then other companies will also come around, other private entities will come around and develop as well. I mean, the great example, if you want to, I hate to say it's in Alabama, but it is. And they got the Mercedes plant.
Mm-hmm.
They took a big risk. You look at the numbers, they could have lost big time. It would have been there, but nothing else would have happened, and they put in a bunch of money. As it turned out, it has turned out to be a tremendous investment on their part because other things developed as well. So you really want this to come in, and you want this activity, yes, to be vibrant, to be successful. If it is, typically there'll be offshoots. There'll be other things coming around as well.
Yeah.
So you'll get. This is how you make your money back. This is how you earn the rates of return that you have. But even out as we're talking about the Bass Pro, you go out there today. You have to look for Bass Pro. You have to look around all the other businesses that are there now. So it has been a tremendous success from that perspective. I saw the mayor of Denham Springs that I worked with a couple of times, and we shop at the same clothing store, and he always says, Richardson, you did a great job. I said, actually, you did the job. I just gave you the numbers. You had to convince your fellow people it was a good deal.
Gotcha. And Mayor Pro Tem, I'm going to need a double nickel on this one. Even with that, I don't think it's enough time. I'm going to ask a few questions. I got a lot of questions. I think this is a start, not the end of this. I think we're going to have some more conversations about it. But just a few rapid-fire questions, if I could. We talked about EDDs. Do it have to be in a blighted or underserved area? Is that a requirement of where it needs to be in your opinion?
The law, I think there's fairly open definition of where it can be, because, as I said, Bass Pro is not a blighted area as such. Along the lakes in Lake Charles, it's not blighted. It needs to be improved, but it's not blighted. There's certain. Also, you have to. If it's too blighted, it's going to be successful, even though it needs to be. So that you may have to say we want accept a lower rate of return. We want that part of the community to really develop, but we can't expect miracles overnight.
Gotcha.
We're going to wait for success to come.
Gotcha. Can any business or individual apply to create an EDD?
I think there's a process on that one. I have to look at my legal people to say exactly how
Okay.
they want to
That's
do
fair. That's fair. Public benefit. Is there a requirement? I know government, in my position, I require my evaluation public benefit. Is there a legal requirement for public benefit? And if there is, what type of public benefit?
I don't think there's a legal requirement as such. I think it really is, but it's an investment.
Okay. All right. Would you describe an economic development district or EDD as a tax break?
There's a tax break in the sense of no, there's no reduction in taxes, but it could be an increase in taxes. It's not really a tax break as such. It is certainly, you're saying you are providing, there is money, public dollars being provided to help this area improve. And that improvement will help the private businesses be much more successful. So there, but as a tax break, no, it's not a tax break as such.
No problem. Is there a specific type of job requirement that the EDD is required to produce? Amount of jobs in number, specific type of jobs?
No.
Okay. All right. Can an economic development be created to create a mixed-use development?
I think that one through. I'm not sure if I can answer directly right today on that one, Mr. Dunn.
Is Bass Pro considered mixed use, or is that a mixed use development?
Pardon me?
Is Bass Pro the Dental Springs EDD, is that considered a mixed use development?
Well,
is there any
it's mixed
residential in
use
that?
now. If you're talking about mixed use, I don't know what you mean by mixed use exactly.
Commercial, residential.
Certainly, they could have. You could have residential in it, yes. That certainly could fine.
So nothing prohibits
Yeah,
it?
right. I believe the Harveston one is mixed use.
Okay.
It has retail, it has residential, it has public schools. Yes.
Gotcha. What about traffic? Should the economic development district or us in evaluating consider the impacts on traffic in the area?
That's always one of those elements you have to consider because private businesses will consider as they locate there. You have to be concerned about it.
Okay. All right. Do you consider an economic development taking taxpayer dollars or taking taxes from tax dollars from taxpayers?
No, I think they're paying their tax. You have to make decisions how you're using that tax money. And this is one way of using it, and that's, as I said, it's not taking any more. And if you're adding an increment or 2% to that, people in that district are supporting it, like the people in the French Quarter supported that extra tax on them for a very specific purpose.
Gotcha. Finally, could you speak to the length? I know you briefly touched on that, and like you said, each EDD is different.
Yeah.
What is the standard on the length of time?
Typically, again, you probably looking at 20 to 40 years is some like time limit. It will be in that range probably. I believe if I go back, I know that the Bass Pro finished much earlier than it had to. But I think probably if you look for a major private company making a big investment, they'll want 20 years at least.
You know, it's interesting. We had this on a couple items, and if you could just elaborate and speak on that, because we had some conversations around the length of some of these agreements, whether it's 20, 30, or 40 years. And if you can touch on, from a business standpoint, how businesses from a finance standpoint and recouping their investment, and I know Brandon could speak to some of this as well, that you're not going to go into something like this looking for a 3 or 5 year, or even a 10 year. You need a longer length of time to amortize your investment. Can you speak to that?
I think if they're making a major investment, they expect it will take longer than 5 to 10 years for them to recoup all their money and get back a rate of return that they think is considered for their owners or their stockholders or however the company is put together.
All right, that's all I have. Again, thank you for your time. It's been very informative. I'm glad to get you here and answer some of our questions. As I mentioned earlier, I actually don't think this is the perfect forum for this because I'm sure all of us have many more questions and we'll be in constant contact with you to get clarity on some that we're proposing and even some that we've already created. But again, thank you for taking your time to come out and share with us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Councilmember Banks.
Just briefly, is there a difference between a TIF and an EDD?
Well, a TIF is a tax incremental financing. It's a very definite. It's used in the EDD, but there are different concepts there.
Okay.
The EDD is then a TIF says there will be if the tax grows at a certain rate above that, that goes into this defined area, which is district. Okay, so that's the TIF. That's it, the TIF in it. So the TIF only makes sense if there is a defined area for which it is supposed to go. So that's the difference there.
Okay. And my last question is, can you have, because I was told that you cannot have an economic development district. If some area is already in an economic development district, you can't have another one inside of it.
That probably is a legal issue, but also, again, all of this is subject to the legislation.
Okay.
You can change that.
Okay.
If you wish.
Yeah.
But you have to ask, does it make sense?
Right.
Does it make sense to do that? Why are you doing something within the district? Why can't it be done within its large? If it can't be done within this larger district, why can it be done within a smaller district within that district?
That's right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Richardson, we sincerely appreciate you coming out and providing us with much-needed information. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I registered for your class when I was at LSU. I just never showed up. I'm just joking. Councilmember Rocker, hold up, Dr.
Sir,
Richardson.
Doctor, I just have one more quick question, and it came as a message. With regard to the funding, the money that comes in from this TIF, how is the money housed, how is it distributed, and who makes those decisions?
Well, you have a district, economic development district. There is a governing group. It's not the members of the council.
Thank you.
Okay. It's a group that is defined in the law or in the contract that is signed. It's in there. And that district, it could be made up of 5 people, 7 people, could be identified exactly who will be in that area, but it is defined, and that money goes to the district. And that district then, again, working within the contract, can use that money for these purposes. That's why the contract becomes very important as to what it says, it defines. And I think obviously the council has to vote on that contract.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that clarification.
Councilwoman Noel.
Dr. Richardson, thank you so much. Years ago, we created the Americana Economic Development District in Zachary. And at that time, I think, if I remember correctly, what we did, we took one of the 2 available pennies, and we put one on top.
Yeah.
So 2 pennies stay, but there's an extra one on top. And while it wasn't defined by a time period, we identified specific projects to be funded, public benefit projects within the district. I think there was beautification portion, there was landscaping and a roundabout, there was a sewer lift station, there were a handful of things that were to be funded and or reimbursed through the EDD. In that vein, when a EDD is set up like that, project specific, can you continue with the EDD? Can the board, can the governing body of the EDD add to that, or would you have to have that allowance at inception for the ability to add to?
Again, that would really depend on how the original contract or agreement was written up. And if they're doing a great job, they say, we need to do this now that we didn't expect to do. And they go back to in Zachary, the city council, and say, we need to change this. And if it's working well, the odds are it's not going to be a big deal. So it will be an element in that situation. But I think the original contract becomes very important as to what do we put in that contract. And I think that's something where obviously the governing body, the city council, has to be looked down at it carefully. But the people are willing to make investments too. They want to look at it very carefully too.
Sure.
Okay, how do we do that? And I don't know that was a Inquis thing that was there that did it.
Yeah, Charles, yeah.
Charles Landry was the attorney involved, yes.
Correct. And actually, in that scenario, the city council is the board for the EDD,
Well,
which I think in hindsight probably should not have been, because now I've had this argument with Charles actually, this discussion. I think now, when those projects are completed, it needs to sunset and you would have to create a new, because to add to, from this point, once dollars are realized, because at the time, it was like you said, nobody was living there. You had the singular entity that owned the property and nothing had been built or constructed. So it was very easy to obviously pass and make happen. And it's an easy situation from the city council standpoint when they're looking at, hey, a portion of something is always better than 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
And so when you know you're creating an EDD to have the effect of bringing something that otherwise would not be, and that's usually where it comes into the deliberation is this coming no matter what, and they're just trying to keep the dollars there, or is this only coming if we incentivize it this way through an EDD? And that's where a lot of discussion usually happens, and where you're trying to ascertain the viability of the project with or without that incentive. But I think in that scenario, so I think the governing body and the board, you have to be real careful, because if you're going to extend it, once dollars are recognized, then you have to be careful about what hat you're wearing, and then at that point, are you having a responsibility to the city who has now given up a penny or two, or are you wearing your board hat that is trying to do with, and it makes it a little bit trickier from an ethics standpoint, I think.
Well, there's no doubt, and just to be honest, I know Charles Landry very well.
Yeah, he's way smarter than I can tell you that.
Okay, yeah. And I've worked with him on a number of little situations as well. But I think the element there is, obviously, at some point, this becomes part of the bigger community. Why should it be treated differently? That's kind of the issue that I think you're getting at.
Sure. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now go to item 141, receiving a report from the Global Geospatial Institute, GGI, and students from Baton Rouge Magna High School to Brighton School regarding the Map It Clean. Councilmember Adams.
Hi, so I'd like to welcome Fran Harvey from the Geospatial Institute, along with the students from Baton Rouge High and Brighton. Litter continues to be a recognized issue in this community, and so we're really excited to see what y'all have been learning and what you have to share with us tonight.
Well, thank you so much, Councilman Laurie Adams, and thank you all to the whole council for taking time today to hear from us and recognizing the importance of sharing this presentation with the entire Metro Council. We appreciate that. My name is Fran Harvey, and I am founder of Global Geospatial Institute. It is a nonprofit organization, and we are laser focused on bringing GIS to the youth across the state, and particularly here in East Baton Rouge Parish. Before we hear from 4 of these remarkable students, I want to acknowledge a board member of our board of directors who's here today, and that's Terry Johnson. Yeah, Terry plays many roles in several communities, Baton Rouge and Zachary, and she is our board president, so we're happy to have her here today. And let me also introduce our partners on this project. The project's name is Map It Clean, and the presentation you'll hear today was made possible by a grant from Keep Louisiana Beautiful, together with Clean Pelican and the principals and teachers of our partner schools. Baton Rouge Magnet High School Principal Nanette McCann and teacher Jennifer Whitesell. Jennifer? and Brighton School Principal Cheryl Ullman and teacher Kim Parciola, and Westdale Heights Academic Magnet School Principal Alicia Kavanaugh and teacher Mary Longoria. And those were fifth graders, so they were not able to make it here tonight, but we'll raise them up so they can come present to you all. For those who are not familiar with our Global Geospatial Institute, I just want to give you a little window into what that's really about. My husband, Leroy, and I actually founded this about 8 years ago, and because we wanted schools in the state to utilize the phenomenal global software and geospatial technology that truly represents the future of our education system and our workforce. The intent has always been to get GIS into the hands of students and teachers in schools. My team and I have the privilege of doing this work every day with some young, creative minds across Louisiana in grades K through 12. A few of the team members that are here today are Vibrian. Could you give a shout out? So Vibrian has been with us since the beginning of the nonprofit opening, and he was a high school student earning his GIS industry-based certification. We have Sarah Catherine Wingrove, who is a recent LSU graduate, and Madison Nolan, who is currently an LSU graduate student. So we all work together every day on 6 key programs. The Louisiana Giant Map, and there's a slide up here that shows a diagram of the programs that we're focused on. The Louisiana Giant Map is for pre-K and elementary students, and the Mighty Maps Institute is focused on middle school. And we have 3 programs there: a drone program, litter program, and watershed program. So you will hear about the litter program and a little bit about the watershed program today. And then in high school, we have a GIS course that culminates in an industry-based certification. And this is throughout Louisiana, and we're the only accredited entity offering a GIS industry-based certification in Louisiana. So we have 2 free events each year, and that is our ArcGIS online nationwide competition. This is our 7th annual year, and the deadline for that is Friday. And we also have International GIS Day. And we have been the state leads for Louisiana for the past 7 years, and we usually hold that event at the GIS Day at the library on Goodwood Boulevard. We also offer GIS teacher professional development. So we know that we're making a difference in Louisiana because Louisiana has some of the brightest students in the nation. In 2022, a student from Caddo Middle School in Shreveport won the nationwide competition for ArcGIS Online. So who knows, this year's winner could come from right here in East Baton Rouge Parish. Now, you may or may not be aware of how GIS plays a role in our everyday lives, because that's usually what we get. It's like the first question is, what is GIS? So if you use GPS system on your smartphone or Google a location for something, you are using GIS. So keep that in mind, please, when you hear the presentation today, that these students are learning how to use GIS, put it on a mobile device, and go out in the field and collect data. So to complete the Map It Clean project with these 4 students and several hundred students actually worked on, they used 3 GIS applications. Story Maps is what you'll see on your screen as they go through their presentation. And Survey 123 is the application on their mobile device out in the field. And then a hub site, which you all will have access to, and that was a platform that pulled together all 3 of the schools so that they could all share the same information in photos and PowerPoints and all that. So these students also are participating in the Louisiana Giant Map, and which is a National Geographic project. So now, thank you for allowing me to introduce the presentation today, and it is my pleasure to welcome Gabrielle Broussard from Baton Rouge Magnet, and Jada Crump from Baton Rouge Magnet High School, Reed Williams, and Nia Cancian from Brighton. Thank you. All yours.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Gabriel Broussard, and I am a junior at Baton Rouge High. A special thank you to Council Member Lori Adams for giving us this chance to speak with you today. And without further ado, this has been our experience with the Map It Clean project, which was made possible by Keep Louisiana Beautiful, Global Geospatial Institute, and Clean Pelican. So this program has brought together several schools and volunteer programs around EBR and Baton Rouge, around the surrounding areas, to help educate children on litter, its effects on the environment, and how to safely pick it up. In 2023, the National GIS Day was held at the EBR Main Library, where students were, they participated in several activities as a group, and then they were released around the surrounding campus to pick up litter and learn its effects on the environment and how to safely pick it up. During this, Clean Pelican helped provide safety equipment, and as a result of this, Clean Pelican was provided with the Healthy Communities Grant. And these groups, they plan to organize more service events to continue teaching children and students on litter, its effects on the environment, and how to safely pick it up so that we can all have a nicer, safer community. And now I'd like to introduce my colleague, Reed Williams.
Hello, council members. I am Reed Williams. I'm a 10th grader at the Brighton School, and I will be talking about International GIS Day and what we did. GIS Day was held at Goodwood Library, where we did 3 activities. First one being field data collection, second being Louisiana Giant Map, and finally, the life of a piece of litter floating through the Mississippi River, the life of a piece of litter floating through the Mississippi River story map. The first one, field data collection, is where we used an app serving 123 to drop a point where litter was collected. We added up the points throughout the day, and by the end, there was over 200 points depicting litter pickups. The second one, being Louisiana Giant Map, displayed crucial industries such as fishing, oil, and gas. It also showed us landmarks like the Mississippi River and taught us about important crops grown here in Louisiana. Last one was the life of a piece of litter floating through the Mississippi River. This activity was where we counted a piece of litter starting from Minnesota, making its way down through the Mississippi River and ending in the Gulf of Mexico. I would like to introduce you my partner, Nia Cancian.
Thank you, Reed. Hi, my name is Nia. I am a sophomore at the Brighton School. Over the course of 2024 spring semester, there were 3 schools that picked up litter around Baton Rouge. The schools are the Brighton School, Baton Rouge High, and Westdale Heights Elementary. These litter pickup days eliminated 2,600 pieces of trash that would have found its way into the Colmeet River watershed, which drains into the Lake Pontchartrain and eventually ends up into Gulf of Mexico. The litter was picked up in 2 smaller watersheds. Baton Rouge High and Wham are in the Ward Creek Bayou Manchac watershed, and TBS is in the Clay Cut Bayou Amite River watershed. We all use an app called Survey 123. All the students documented the types, the size, and the location of the litter. We also took pictures. I would like to show you the litter of where. TBS collected 438 pieces, which is located at Jack's Bayou around our school. Wham collected 130 pieces around their school. And Baton Rouge High collected 2,440 pieces around their campus. These following bar charts depict the top 5 most types of litter at each school. As you can see, the most is plastic. The following pie charts show all the various types of litter found by each school. Not all litter was picked up or documented because of the time constraints and the limitation of technology use. Thank you, council members, and now I would like to turn the podium over to Jada Crump for our conclusion.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Jada Crump, and I am a freshman at Baton Rouge High. While working with Map It Clean, we were able to touch so many young minds and teach them about litter. We were able to educate them on how it affects the environment and how to properly dispose of it. Coming into this, I don't think anybody could have predicted how many people we were able to bring together as a community to clean up our city. We truly were able to inspire people to make a difference in the amount of litter that covers our streets. We would appreciate if you would give us the opportunity to educate more young minds about litter, to provide more public trash cans in public spaces, and have an increase in production of recyclable material. We will be answering questions shortly, and we want to thank you for your time and allowing us to show you this presentation. All this information can be found on our website, which you can get to by scanning this QR code. Thank you.
Aren't these students impressive? So thank you again, Councilman Laurie Adams, and all of you for welcoming us and recognizing the brilliant work of these students and the teachers. We have 2 items we'd like to distribute to you all. This is a report, a litter report that we turned in to Keep Louisiana Beautiful and Lieutenant Governor Nungesser at the Bessie Board meeting last week. And some of you council members, these are your district, these are constituents, and so I hope they're introducing themselves to you as you receive your report. And we also want to encourage you to please be an advocate for GIS in education with your colleagues at the East Baton Rouge school system to continue this good work and afford more students the opportunities to succeed. That was one of the takeaways from the youth, was realizing we need more educational opportunities about litter and how to address that problem. So we must have support from the school district for that. So thank you for your time, and we will be happy to answer any questions. And a little lagniappe at the end of our presentation, there's a drone image of Baton Rouge High Magnet School, and that's one of our GIS IBC high school students who owns his own drone business and flew drone imagery for us that day. And as a little fun fact, when we started to look at all the district members and our students and teachers and where everybody live, we touched 6 districts just with this one project. So we would love to have another project next year to reach out to the other 6. So thank you. Any questions for the students?
Well, before we go to questions, is there anyone here wanting to speak on the item in the audience? Anyone in the audience wanting to speak on the item? All right, now we'll go to council members. Councilmember Adams.
So as elected officials, we really depend on data and community organization recommendations to help us make good policy and hopefully wise decisions moving forward. In picking up the trash and identifying where the trash was, and it seems like plastic was the largest item. That's what you found the most of. Can you tell us what type of plastic? Any insight as to how it got there, or ways that we could go about decreasing the plastic that's becoming litter?
I'll start. As to where it came from, a lot of what we were finding was bottle caps, bottles, shredded up beads from possibly Mardi Gras parades, a lot of caution tape as well. A lot of this could be left over from perhaps construction done around Baton Rouge High and the surrounding areas, Government Street and North Street, both very busy streets, being in between those two, lots of passerbys, lots of trash. A lot of it also seemed to may have been litter. While we were picking up, someone had driven by and just tossed it out in their car, which was very sad to see, but it adds to the point. Lots of bottles, that kind of stuff. A lot of small plastics that when you're just walking down the sidewalk, you wouldn't notice, but once you start to take a look and notice, look down at the environment, making sure, it's safe for your children per se, that's when you start to notice just how much there is.
Right. So I guess what you're saying is kind of you thought there was some general carelessness or disregard, or just people not taking care to control and get in the proper receptacles everything that passes through their hands.
Yes, ma'am. And I think it was in Disneyland, Disney World. I think they have a trash can every 30 feet to ensure people throw away their trash. They're more motivated. If I see a trash can 100 feet away, may not want to walk that far. But if we are able to increase the amount of public trash cans every block, every 2 blocks even, that'll increase the amount of people willing to put in the effort, walk that extra distance, throw it away.
Great. Yeah.
Also, as far as the amount of plastic that we found, we would have a significant decrease in plastic materials if more were being recycled and if the material was more recyclable friendly. It's actually really hard to recycle plastics, and a lot of people aren't finding themselves willing to do it. A lot of companies aren't willing to sponsor or make the investment. But if the material was more recyclable friendly, we would have a lot more bidders up for the challenge.
Okay, those are two great policy recommendations. And I have to tell you, I did not know anything about watersheds until after I was elected. And so it is really exciting to see that this next generation already understands watersheds. So, Mr. Rayford, there's help coming in the future generations where people understand about drainage and watersheds. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much for your work. Thank you for taking on this project and spending some time with us. These are important issues. If anybody's paying attention to any polling that's going around in advance of the fall elections, litter and blight are continuing to register amongst the population, amongst our residents, as something that people are very concerned about. So your efforts are on focus, on task, and greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Young people did a phenomenal job. Outstanding. Thank you so much. All right. I particularly thank the young lady who lives in District 7, just did an amazing job. I mean, we only create the best in District 7.
District 7, District 8, 6, and 8.
Yeah, well, all of you did great, great, awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Get to 10.
Council members, if you now we go to page 1675, a resolution ordering to call an special election to be held in the Brownfields Fire Protection District Number 3 of the parish of East Baton Rouge, State of Louisiana on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, for the purpose of authorizing renewal of the levy collection of 10 mills ad valorem tax for a period of 10 years, prepared by the Bond Council Director at the request of the Brownfield Fire Protection District Number 3. Is anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Council members, is there a motion? So moved by Council Member Rockers, seconded by the Councilmember Coleman. Any objections? We go now to item 76. A resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the Allison St. Elmo Lee Fire Protection District Number 9, Tuesday, November 5th, for the purpose of authorizing the renewal of the levy and collection of 10 mills ad valorem tax for a period of 10 years for fire protection purposes of the district. Is anyone here wishing to speak on item 76? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve item 76? So moved by Councilmember Coleman, seconded by the chair. Any objections? We now go to item 77, a resolution ordering and calling for a special election to be held in the Fire Protection District Number 1 of the parish of East Baton Rouge, Tuesday, November 5th, for the purpose of authorizing renewal of the levy of the collection of 9 mills and ad valorem tax for a period of 10 years by prepared bond counsel at the request of the Fire Protection Number 1. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Motion to approve by Councilmember Knoll, seconded by Councilmember Coleman. Are there any objections? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we go to item 78. We're sending in directing the clerk of court the council notice to attend recorded on December 27, 2023, and a decision order recorded on November 13, 2023, City of Baton Rouge versus Jermaine Sarton. Reason for rescission: owner has boarded up the home, cleaned the yard, and committed to making repairs to the home. By Councilmember Coleman. Anyone wishing to speak on the item? We now go to Councilmember Coleman. So moved, seconded by the chair. Any objections? We now go to item 79. We're sending in directing the clerk of court the council notice to attend recorded on September 23, 2023, and the decision or order recorded on January 12, 2024, in the matter of the City of Baton Rouge versus Kentrell Alex, 9871 Avenue A. Reason for rescission: owner is in the process of obtaining permits to remodel the home. By Councilmember Banks. Anyone wishing to speak on the item? Councilmember Banks. So moved, seconded by Councilmember Coleman. Any objections? We now go to item 80. Amend the 2024 pay plan for the classified, unclassified, non-classified contract for the fire and police employees of the City of Baton Rouge, Parish of East Baton Rouge, so as to make the following changes effective April 25, 2024. Amendment to the classified, unclassified, one, add item 30, critical retention hiring for human development and services employees. An optional special recruiting rate is allowable up to step 12 for Human Development and Services classification is recommended by the Director and approved by the Human Resource Director. Human Development and Services classification are identified as follows. Program Administrator, HIV and AIDS, by Program Human Development Services and Human Service Resources Director. Is anyone here wishing to speak on item 80? We now go to council members. Motion to approve by the chair, seconded by Councilman Coleman. Any objections? Item 80 has been approved. We now go to item 81. Authorizing the mayor president to enter into a 3-year contractual agreement for the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026 on behalf of the Department of Juvenile Services with the State of Louisiana, Office of Juvenile Services for Title 5E Title 4E Enhanced Reimbursement Funds in the amount of $634,545.39 and to sign all documents as required in connection therewith by Juvenile Service Directors. Anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve item 81? So moved by Council Member Adams, seconded by the chair. Any objections? We go now to item 82. Authorizing the mayor president on behalf of the Baton Rouge Police Department to execute an agreement with Sexual Trauma Awareness and Response Center for a total sum not to exceed $75,000 by the police chief. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. So moved by Council Member Adams, seconded by the chair. Any objections? We now go to item 83, authorizing the mayor president on behalf of the Baton Rouge Police Department to enter into a professional services agreement with Jazz Solutions in the amount of $150,000 to serve the grant coordinator funded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance Fiscal Year 2019 Community-Based Crime Reduction Grant. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. So moved by the chair. Any objections? Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Coleman. Any objections? Item 83 has been approved. We go to item 4. Authorizing the mayor president to execute a grant amendment number 2, increasing the total maximum amount of the agreement to $4,939,858.26 to $5,359,289.20 with the State of Louisiana Division of Administration, Office of Community Development and Grant Assistance under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery by Finance Directors. Anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. So moved by Councilmember Adams, seconded by the chair. Any objections? We go to 85, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract for software services with Blake Wilson Group, LLC, for an audit management and electronic work and paper software system for use of internal audits in the city parish process and agencies, and the renewal of audit, sales tax, occupational license tax, hotel motel tax, insurance premium tax, and the public utilities taxes in the East Baton Rouge Parish for an amount not to exceed $677,507 by Finance Director. Is anyone here wishing to speak on item 85? We now go to council members. So moved by Councilmember Gode, seconded by Councilmember Adams. Are there any objections? Council members will take item 86 through 93 together, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with Architects Plus LLC, provide construction cost services in the College Drive Perkins Road to I-10 in an amount not to exceed $98,670 by Transportation and Drainage Director. Item 87, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with Bruce E. Pritt to provide appraisal services for the College Drive Perkins Road to I-10 in an amount not to exceed $121,490 by Transportation and Drainage Director. Item 87, which is item 88, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with David E. Volentine, MAI, to provide appraisal services with the College Drive Perkins Road to I-10 in an amount not to exceed $119,765. Item 89, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with EAG Gulf Coast LLC to provide business valuation services for College Drive Perkins Road to I-10 in an amount not to exceed $317,450. Item 90, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with Infinity Engineering Consultants LLC to provide engineering and design services for construction of the Bluegrass Drive improvements and sidewalk, Cadillac Street to Fortune Addition Park, in an amount not to exceed $141,768 by Transportation and Drainage Director. Item 91, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with James I. Brantley to provide appraisal services for the College Drive Perkins Road to I-10 project, being in an amount not to exceed $119,765. Item 92, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with MAG Enterprises Incorporated to provide appraisal services for the College Drive Perkins Road to I-10 project in an amount not to exceed $121,490 by Drainage Director. Item 93, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with Michael Freeman to provide acquisition and relocation services for the College Drive Perkins Road to I-10 in an amount not to exceed $84,960. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to on the items. Now we go to council members. Motion to approve items 86 through 93. So moved by Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by the chair. Any objections? Item 86 through 93 have been approved. We now go to item 94, authorize the mayor president to execute a supplemental agreement number 2 to the contract with Jacobs Engineering, formerly CH2M Hill Incorporated, for Stormwater Division Management Program for services and additional compensation amount not to exceed $1,200,000 by Environmental Services Director. Ashley.
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 94.
Is there anyone wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. So moved by Councilmember Gode, seconded by the chair. Any objections? We now go to item 95, authorize the mayor president and/or Brosco to execute a contract for engineering services with Lettere Engineering LLC associated with the LA Highway 30 Regional Force Main project in an amount not to exceed $149,500 by the Environmental Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve item 95? So moved by Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by Councilmember Adams. Councilmember Gode, is your person here for their report? We're going to go to that report now so that we can excuse them from the timeout room. We're going to go to item 140, receiving the first quarter 2024 report from East Baton Rouge Parish Communications District. By Councilmember Gode, we're going to have the report first, and then we'll go to any comments from the audience. Yes, sir, it's on you.
Thank you all so much. Jim Verlander, Director for the East Baton Rouge Parish Communication District. Thank you all so much for allowing me to come and give a first quarter report for 2024. So far this year, things are going really well. We're still progressing with the new rollout of the new 911 system that we have. We have all the agencies on board except for one, which we're still working through some challenges to finally bring them on board. Hopefully that's going to happen very soon. We have moved into the new backup center. We have most of the networking and everything completed in it. We're just finishing up with installing some computers and monitors and stuff and getting ready to get that thing fully operational. We also have had movement on our North Tower project, which was it's going to be a new communication tower for the Zachary area. We had some soil testing done, and that came back very positive, so we're looking forward to continue moving forward with that. We also have been communicating with the state in regards to the LWIN equipment that they can provide, which then connects it and allows for like a simulcast with all the rest of the towers throughout the state. And that's basically all I have. Any questions that y'all might have?
Let's go to any comments from anyone wishing to speak on the item. Now we go to Councilmember Gode.
Thank you, sir. Always appreciate the report. Where's you said that North Tower project's located in Zachary?
It's outside the city limits of Zachary.
That area.
It's down Pride Port Hudson.
Will that give you parish-wide coverage, or do y'all already have?
We already have parish-wide coverage, but some of the areas we have problems like inside buildings and stuff. The coverage just isn't as optimal as what we would like it. So adding this tower provides a little bit more penetration into the buildings.
Do we have the ability to do a reverse 911? Do we have that capacity? In other words, if an emergency situation is happening in our parish, can we push out a message via your system?
No, we do not provide that. I believe MOSAP is in the process of having some kind of system that's going to be able to allow that.
And it wouldn't interact with y'all at all? Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for that report.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Councilman, we're going to take item 142, emergency item to be adopted, expressing the support of the Metropolitan Council for House Bill 323 in the 2024 regular legislative session, and urging legislators from East Baton Rouge Parish to vote in favor of the bill by the chair. A reason for emergency allow public hearing on the item prior to the vote on House Bill 323 in the legislature. In accordance with the ordinance 16442, this item must be declared an emergency by 2/3 vote of the Metropolitan Council. A motion to declare The item in emergency needs a second. Motion by Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by Councilmember Coleman. Vote on the motion to declare the item. Is there anyone any objections to the item? Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go ahead.
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 142.
We now go to the vote on the item. Motion to approve is Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by Councilmember Coleman. Are there any objections? Show Councilmember Gode objecting. Item 142 has passed. We now go back to council members, item 96, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract with Rick Baton and Associates LLC to provide acquisition and relocation services for the College Drive Perkins Road I-10 in an amount not to exceed $60,000 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. Is anyone here wishing to speak on item 96? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve item 96? So moved by the chair, seconded by Councilmember Gode. Any objections? We now go to item 97, authorizing the mayor, president, Sharon Weston Broome to accept and appropriate and allocate funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, Community Development Block Grant, Disaster Recovery and Mitigation to the city parish for a sum not to exceed $7,686,000 by Mayor's Office of Community Development. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve the item? So moved by the chair. Is there a second? On the HUD dollars, second by Councilmember Hudson. Any objections? We now go to item 98, authorizing the mayor, president, Sharon Weston Broome to submit the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Mitigation Resilient Communities Infrastructure Program recovery proposal to the Louisiana Office of Community Development and accept, appropriate, allocate funds for a sum not to exceed $4,915,204. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Motion to approve by Councilmember Gode, seconded by the chair. Any objection? Council members, we're going to take 99 through 108 together. Item 99, authorizing the mayor, president, Sharon Weston Broome to authorize an agreement on behalf of the city of Baton Rouge and the East Baton Rouge Mayor's Office of Community Development and Baton Rouge Black Alcoholism Council doing business as Metro Health for the period of January 2023 through June 2024 for an amount not to exceed $58,094.77. Item 100, authorizing the mayor president on behalf of Division of Human Development and Services, Ryan White, Part A, program to execute a subrecipient contract with Our Lady of the Lake Incorporated in an amount of $142,515 by the Human Services Director. Item 101, authorizing the mayor president on behalf of the Division of Human Development and Services, Ryan White, HIV and AIDS Program, Minority AIDS Initiative to execute a subrecipient contract with Our Lady of the Lake Incorporated in an amount of $22,061 by Human Services Director. Item 102, authorize the mayor president on behalf of the Division of Human Development and Services, Ryan White, HIV and AIDS Program to execute a subrecipient contract with Volunteers of America, South Central Louisiana in an amount of $58,580 by Human Services Director. Item 103, authorize the mayor president on behalf of the Division of Human Development and Services, Ryan White, HIV AIDS Program to execute a subrecipient contract with no AIDS tax for an amount of $52,886 by the Human Services Director. Item 104, authorize the mayor president on behalf of the Division of Human Development and Services to Ryan White, HIV AIDS Program, Minority AIDS Initiative, and subrecipient to execute a contract with HIV and AIDS Alliance for Region 2 in an amount of $52,996 by Human Services Director. Item 105, authorizing the mayor president on behalf of the Division of Human Development and Services, Ryan White, HIV and AIDS Program to execute a subrecipient contract with HIV and AIDS Alliance for Region 2 in an amount of $319,091 by Human Services Director. Item 106, authorizing the mayor president on behalf of the Division of Human Development and Services, Ryan White, HIV and AIDS Program to execute a subrecipient contract with Family Service of Greater Baton Rouge in an amount of $260,270 by Human Services Director. Item 107, authorizing the mayor president on behalf of Division of Human Development and Services, Ryan White, HIV and AIDS Program, Minority AIDS Initiative to execute a subrecipient contract with the Capital City Family Health Clinic in an amount of $32,229 by Human Services Director. Item 108, authorizing the mayor president on behalf of Division of Human Development and Services, Ryan White, HIV and AIDS Program to execute a subrecipient contract with the Capital City Family Health Center in an amount of $211,500 by Human Services Director. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on items 99 through 108? Councilmember Cleve Dunn Jr.
Please show me abstaining from 104 and 105.
please show. Councilmember Dunn Jr. abstain, 104 and 105. Is there a motion to approve items 99 through 108? So moved by the chair, seconded by Councilmember Hudson. Any objections? Those items have been approved. We now go to 109, authorize the mayor president to execute an amendment to the agreement between the city of Baton Rouge, parish of East Baton Rouge, and the YWCA to increase the contract by $120,000 by the mayor's office. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Motion to approve by Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by the chair. Are there any objections? We now go to item 110. Authorize the mayor president to execute an amendment to the agreement between the city of Baton Rouge, the parish of East Baton Rouge, and Urban Restoration Enhancement Corporation to increase the contract by $135,000 by the mayor's office. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. So moved by Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by the chair. Any objections? Now we go to adjudicated properties. Council members, we're going to take 111 through 129 together. Lot 4, subdivision Goodwood Home Sites is item 111. High bidder Andrew Medine, $76,000. Item 112, lot 13 Point, subdivision Short Addition, Metro Council District 10. High bidder Jerome Brazier Carter, $100. Item 113, lot 85 West Point, subdivision North Baton Rouge, District 2, high bidder Jabery Green, $13,100. Say again? Oh, Jabari. Interesting. $13,100. Item 114, lot 88, subdivision Riverland, District 3, high bidder TD Real Estate Group, $2,500. Item 115, lot 62, subdivision Sable Chase, District 3, high bidder Ask LLC, $13,100. Item 116, lot 48B-1, subdivision South Highland Industrial Park, District 5, high bidder TD Real Estate Group, $9,000. Item 117, lot 87, subdivision Riverland, District 3, high bidder TD Real Estate Group, $2,500. Item 118, lot 52, subdivision Sable Chase, District 3, high bidder TD Real Estate Group, $2,500. Item 119, lot 8, subdivision Sherwood Meadow, District 8, high bidder TD Real Estate Group, $5,000. Item 120, lot 8-11, square 46, subdivision Banks, District 10, high bidder Damon L. Walker and Eric D. Walker Sr., $2,300. Item 121, lot B, subdivision Short Addition, District 10, high bidder Ask LLC, $2,500. Item 122, lot 35, subdivision Bakerfield, District 2, Banks, high bidder Kevin Williams, $67,400. Item 123, lot 40 plus, square C, subdivision Doherty Place, District 7, high bidder House Code LLC, $26,700. Item 124, lot 10, square 3, subdivision Standard Heights, District 10, high bidder Ask LLC, $13,000. Item 125, lot 26, square 37, subdivision South Baton Rouge, District 10, high bidder Potential Assets, $100. Item 126, lot 65, square 10, subdivision South Baton Rouge, District 10, high bidder Potential Assets, $100. Item 127, lot 18, square 42, subdivision South Baton Rouge, District 10, high bidder Potential Assets, $100. Item 128, lot 21, square 42, subdivision South Baton Rouge, District 10, high bidder Potential Assets, $100. Item 129, lot 24, square 42, subdivision South Baton Rouge, District 10, high bidder Potential Assets, $100. If anyone here wishing to speak on items 111 through 129, is there a motion to approve items 111? So moved by Councilmember Gode, seconded.
Wait,
Go
I
ahead, go
have
ahead.
something here. I would like to, that's number 125, 126, 127, 128, 129. And if I've overlooked any other one that Potential Asset has bidded on, no, hadn't heard from them, and they know the rules.
So what would you like to do with those items?
Whatever,
Defer or delete?
delete. They know the rule.
All right. Motion by Councilmember Coleman to delete items 125, 126, 127, 128, and 129. seconded by the chair. Is there any objections to the deletion of those items? Those items have been deleted. Now, we go to a motion to approve those items. Items 111 through 124. Motion to approve by Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by Councilmember Hudson. Any objection? Those items have been approved. We now go to appointments. CHSD to replace Jerry Harvey, who is not seeking reappointment. The Metropolitan Council must submit 2 names for consideration by the governor.
Council members, just as a reminder, this is a state-created board for which you nominate at least 2 people, and the governor selects from that list. There's specific qualifications that are listed on your agenda. If you have constituents that might be interested, you can ask them to reach out to my office to be added to the ballot for consideration at a future meeting.
You want names now?
If you know that there are people who meet these qualifications and you would like to nominate them now, you can.
If not, we need a motion to defer this item.
Motion to defer.
Go ahead.
Okay, this has been on the council about a month, I think. Councilman Dunn, do you have at least one person?
I do, but I hadn't spoken to him.
Can we take this at the end? Because I have one person as well. And what I was asking her to recommend me and the other person in hopes that the other person will get it. But if you have,
If you got somebody, go ahead.
it was just me and one more person.
I hadn't spoken to the person to see if they would do it, but if y'all got 2.
Do you want to make that call and come back to us?
We almost at the end of the meeting. You said defer to the end, but we almost at the end, so it's up to you.
Because otherwise
I can. Let me do that.
We'll come back to it.
Because he can make if he gonna make the call, we'll determine.
We're gonna come back to it.
Okay.
We'll come back to it. All right, we're going to item 131, Volunteer Fire Department, Alston St. Irma Lee. Consideration of replacing Bethel Wells, who declined appointment. This is a 2-year term, must live in Alston St. Irma Lee Fire District. Current ballot is Brenda Cheney and Betty Jefferson. Both applications received. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Sean, this your district again. Motion to approve Brenda Cheney, seconded by the chair. Any objections? Congratulations, Ms. Cheney. You've been appointed to the Volunteer Fire Department. Item 132, Volunteer Fire Department, Alston St. Irma Lee. Consideration of reappointing or replacing Claude Douglas, whose term expires on April 30th, 2024. This is a 2-year term. Must live in Alston St. Irma Lee Fire District. Current ballot is Claude Douglas, who requested reappointment. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Councilmember Banks, we reappointing Claude Douglas?
Yes, please.
So moved by Councilmember Hudson, seconded by Councilmember Noel. Any objections? Congratulations, Mr. Douglas. Item 133, change orders. School flasher installation contractor, Diamond Electrical Company Incorporated, change order amount $282,878.23, which is a credit. Is there anyone wishing to speak on the item? Is there a motion to approve? So, Councilmember Hudson.
Fred, I know there's a couple of these that still aren't operational, so.
We're still working with the electric company about how we want to connect it to the electrical service.
Okay.
There's been some concerns expressed by Energy trying to do just a single connection to that. We may ultimately end up having to go solar, which is okay in a lot of areas, but there are some places throughout the parish that if we had to do that, it could be a challenge. We may even have to move the actual signal itself to be able to accommodate that, the flashers.
Okay. Do we have a timeline on when we're going to get them going?
I would just say that we're trying to finish this up, but we are working with Energy and also Demco because there are areas within the parish. I think we have 20 locations that we still have to get resolved as far as power. Most of them can be done by solar power, which is really what we want to do at this point because Energy has not really wanted to provide that service for these flashers.
I'm about to follow up on that. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we had a motion to approve The credit, so moved by Councilmember Adams, seconded by the chair. Any objections? We go now to final acceptances. School flash installation contract to Diamond Electric Company. Final cost $2,131,157.69. Is anyone wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve the item? Motion by Councilmember Adams, seconded by Councilmember Hudson. Any objections? We go now to item 135, Juvenile Detention Center Upgrades Phase 1. Perimeter fence replacement contract to RKL Constructors Incorporated. Final cost $1,307,414. Is anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve the item? So moved by Councilmember Hudson, seconded by Councilmember Adams. Any objection? Shauna? Look up. Any objection?
To what?
Item has been approved. Acceptance of low bids. Shauna, clearly talking to you, baby. That's all I was saying.
Oh, okay.
We go to acceptance of low bid. Item 136, Airport Airfield Mark and Water Blasting Service. Highlight Airfield Services LLC, $144,084.90. Is anyone wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve item 136? So moved by Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by the chair. Any objections? We now go to item 137, Airfield Marking and Water Blasting Service. Highlight Airfield Services LLC, $144,084.90. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the item? We now go back to council members. Is there a motion? Councilmember Dunn Jr.
I want to make a motion, but if Mike Lewis or one of them could come up and just kind of talk about the difference of these items, you know, when you read it, it looks very similar. So if you can just talk about the difference in the different items.
Yeah, they're duplicate, so it's administrative error. So as my understanding, this would be deleted. 137.
Motion to delete. Item 137, we need a motion to delete? Okay.
Motion to delete 37.
Motion to delete item 137, seconded by motion by Councilmember Dunn Jr., seconded by Councilmember Coleman. Any objections? Item 137 has been deleted.
Thank you.
Item 138, Greenwell Street, Amarillo Street, large diameter drainage pipe rehabilitation, NCMC LLC, $227,000. Anyone wishing to speak on the item? We now go to council members. Is there a motion to approve the item? So moved by the chair, seconded by Councilmember Coleman. Any objections? Item 138 has been approved. Council members, we now will go back to item 130, item 131. Excuse me, item 130. Shauna, what's your pleasure? I'm sorry, Councilmember Banks, what's your pleasure?
Councilwoman Coleman has.
Okay, so two persons, Karen Marchand and Dr.
Christiana Richard.
Is that Richard or Richard?
Richard.
I'll give you the correct spelling there.
There's a motion by Councilmember Coleman to submit Karen Marchand and Christiana Richard, seconded by Councilmember Hudson. Are there any objections to that? Those two names have been submitted.
Clear.
Councilmember Amoroso is not here, so in her absence, Councilmember Noel.
I need to make a motion to reconsider an introductory item.
Motion to reconsider an introductory item. Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we reconsider item number 47. It's for a project in my district that's almost already completed.
Second, any objections? Reconsideration. Go ahead, Councilmember, what would you like to do with that item?
Delete the item.
Like to delete item 47 and introduce?
Is that 47?
You can't discuss it.
Huh? You want a discussion?
Can't discuss it.
Huh?
We can't discuss it.
I don't want to discuss.
Right.
Yeah, I just said delete it. Yeah, 47.
There's a motion to delete item 47, seconded by the chair. Okay. There's an objection to deletion of the item, so we're gonna vote on a motion to delete the item. Anybody objects to deleting item 47 on the introductory item? Any objection to delete the item 47? Item. Yeah, do have show Councilmember Hudson objecting. Can't discuss the item.
Fred, you requested to have it deleted?
I'm gonna tell y'all.
We're gonna take
It's not a change order.
we're gonna take a 2-minute recess to not discuss the item. Go ahead, tell him. No, tell him.
Oh, come on. Okay.
Tell him.
Group chat, no. Yeah. All they doing is.
Fred.
Who wants to delete?
Okay.
But you know. Oh, that's new. No, she ain't got enough for me. Huh? She ain't got enough for me. You got too much of that.
We've all got our preference.
I can't.
Me too.
Okay.
He's hanging on by a thread.
Well, I guess I should be up here, but I can't say anything either. I need. Me too.
They say she's quite
It's Tony.
Who opened?
Is it? Tony.
Tony.
So you can grab a box and take it home.
You're going to the LSU thing. Back home? Yeah, we reserved tickets for Dennis and then. What? Very appropriate, very festive. Yeah, he gave you an excuse to wear his comfy shoes.
But if it dies, he'll still work. Have to fight it next. So we leaving it alone, or we? Okay, we got to call the meeting back to order. We're back to order on item, reconsideration of item 47. Councilmember Banks, what's your pleasure? There's a motion to delete the item. Is there a second on the motion to delete the item? Is there a second on the motion to delete the item? Motion dies for lack of a second. We move now to item, there's a motion to adjourn. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any challenges in your life and you're struggling, please protect your mental health. If you need therapy, get you some therapy. And as always, read to your children And when you're done reading to them, have them read back to you. Best way to improve reading comprehension. Have a good evening. Oh, and let me say this announcement. I want to say good luck to all of the students all over